Just start casting. Right. Welcome in, everybody, to our best of 5 show match between 30K and Sidestep Kings. My name is Bahamut. I'm joined by Mr. Michael Woodall, the owner of 30K. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, Baha. How are you doing? How's life been?
It's a little chaotic, but you know what? CCL makes everything a little bit better. We're going to Infernal Shrines here, and I actually asked all the players if there were any map bans beforehand, and they were like, no map bans, but it is CCL pool, so we could see a Garden of Terror. So we could have just that one interesting map right there that everyone loves to hate. Anything for Infernal Shrines between these two teams that you would maybe prioritize when it comes to bans for this map?
I mean, Medivh, definitely, I think, a hero that's traditionally banned versus 30K. Passwab's one of the best Medivhs in the game, I would say. And then, I mean, Gazlo, Chromie, not necessarily specific hero bans, but definitely, like, pretty strong meta heroes. But it is going to be a Stukov ban first for 30K. I mean, pretty interesting. I don't think we saw them ban Stukov in the Icebreaker tournament from the first rotation. So it looks like this is an adaptation, as they did, you know, lose in the finals. It's quite a heartbreaker. You know, as the org owner, I was watching, I was like, well, I mean, I was really proud of my team being able to pull it back, right? Going down 2-0 and then bringing it back to a 2-2 is a really impressive feat. And at that point, it's best of one, right? Like, it's a coin toss. And, you know, sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't.
As someone who actually, like, was in a lot of those moments in professional play, like, what's kind of the thing that, like, people need to watch out for as players? Like, is it a mental thing? Is it, like, tunnel visioning? Like, what's kind of, like, the thing that you found that was like, oh, this is, like, the one thing that people need to avoid when they get into those situations?
I mean, I think generally people get caught up arguing about the past. Right?
Okay.
So they're focused on the last game and what caused them to lose the last 2 games versus actually being focused on this game and what you can do to, you know, win this game and improve moving forward. And actually, that's something that I was watching the comms of my team, and that's actually something that was happening, right? Like, after the Dragonshire loss, the team was just kind of talking, or I think it was Volskaya. It was after the Volskaya loss. You know, team was talking about, you know, how it went wrong, what we should resolve, like how do we improve. And it took them a little while to actually move on to the Dragonshire to talk about, you know, how are we going to draft for this? They were already in the lobby about to start. And I actually hopped in there and was like, yo, team, focus on the next game. It's like you just got to look forward as players.
Okay, that's a good tip to take forward, because that's, I think, one thing that a lot of people can learn from, especially from your experience and all of these players' experience, is just how do you get out of that mental fog, especially in a big long series like that? Because it's not like you lose one, it's like we lose the next, it's over. You got to lose 2 more. But anyways, mental acuity to the side. We have a Medivh first pick on the left hand side and a Lucio Imperious. Thoughts on this so far, and thoughts on what we might see coming out from 30K?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Imperious first pick. The Lucio steal away. There are 2 support bans, the Brightwing as well as the Stukov. So wouldn't be surprised if we see a Deckard or an Ana here potentially for BBJ. And I like the Imperious steal because Imperious and Medivh is a very strong duo, and it looks like it is going to be D.Va and Ana. I mean, I'd be curious if maybe they try and run this D.Va in the 4-man. They'll probably run it solo, but you know, with Medivh, it just opens up a lot of odd main tanks.
Well, there's actually also something to say about the steal in the sense of not only Medivh synergy, but also Masquerade, because Masquerade played a lot of Imperious over the Icebreaker tournament weekend as a main tank, and showcasing that not only is it a main tank, not only is it a bruiser, it's also an assassin too, because they had outstanding damage throughout those games. But a Sylvanas to be banned out, they don't want to deal with the consistent siege she can bring to the table, and from the left-hand side, they could look to get rid of some wave clear or maybe some shrine clear into the side of Sidestep Kings.
Maybe a Diablo is... Okay, no, Gazlo. Wait, Gazlo made it... That's interesting. Gazlo, normally a hero that's, you know, very, very highly prioritized. And it looks like, wow, pretty fast lock-in. Leoric as well as Junkrat. Junkrat has a lot of really good counterplay into the Medivh. A lot of times people will pick this hero as a counter, because when people go through the portal, you can have a trap there, you can have a boop there, and just make, you know, everyone on the Medivh's life, you know, unhappy.
Oh yeah, there's a ton right here, and also you got Entomb plus Buried Alive value at level 20, so we'll see what kind of shenanigans come out from that one. The last 2 picks on the left-hand side need a main tank, need some sort of shrine clear as well. A mage would be wonderful, as well as some sort of main tank, but okay.
Double.
Okay, all right. What's your team doing here, bud?
Baha, they're warming up hashtag scaling, so it looks like it is... Wait. So do they have no tank? Okay,
oh, Jaina equals Malthael.
I mean, that's the nature of show matches. It's basically scrims, right? So people are going to be taking it a little bit less serious. This is something that's actually pretty common to happen for people in scrims, is if someone locks in the wrong thing, people will remake and allow it, right? Because at the end of the day, what we want is good practice. So,
well, yeah, because I think that's something to be said here as well for anyone that might be watching this and might be like, wait, why am I not getting like super sweaty, try hard, like super high S tier drafts or meta drafts? And it's like, well, you said it right. Like, this is the place to bring all of your odd, experiments and try them out. Like, this is the laboratory. Like, this is where if you fail, it doesn't matter. You take a loss and you're like, cool, I know that doesn't work, or at least that iteration of it doesn't work. So that's something that is to be said about this, and I'm super, super excited. But we're going to skip the draft, and I think we're literally just going to go straight into the match itself, correct?
Yeah, that's what I would assume. So it looks like standard draft or ninja swap. So, okay, it looks like they might need standard draft, which would mean that someone maybe doesn't have the right heroes. Okay, but it looks like it is going to be the Gul'dan. So Jaina is going to be the one out, and it looks like Gul'dan is going to be the mage in. I do like the Malthael pickup for 30k. I mean, you have the nano boost coming out by Ana. You also have, Diva and Medivh to help keep the Malthael alive. And I think that, Liam's just going to have a pretty good game here, because all they have as far as CC goes for the way of Sidestep Kings is an Imperious, right? And if Malthael's able to juke that, he should be able to just have the time of his life in these team fights.
I wonder if the lack of the front line will be an issue here for 30k, because Sidestep Kings have a lot of ways to kind of push past it, literally with the Lucio, being able to push off the wall through them for the slow, Junkrat with displacement to force them towards them, and Imperious with Celestial Charge, and Leoric with the Wraith Walk as well. There's a lot of mobility from Sidestep Kings here, and I'm thinking that might be something that 30k might be worried about. Are you, if you were a player in this game, or you're like, no, this is easy, they got it?
I mean, I think it's scary potentially going through portals, but the thing I fear for as far as Sidestep King's comp goes is I think it's going to be really hard for them to kill anything.
Okay.
Like, Diva's not really a kill target. Medivh, if played well, which Hasselub's one of the best Medivhs in the game, right? Of course it's going to be played well. Is normally going to be out of range. BBJ normally going to be out of range. Same with Gul'dan on that Sammy. So it looks like Vesper team really is their only main kill target. And I feel like for 30k, they'll be able to play this pretty front to back. And Imperious is going to have to get good flanks, or Junkrat's going to have to get really good boobs. And I just feel like the target he has to boop is pretty difficult, right? I
would say so. I think you're right in that. And also, a little anecdote of Vesper on Malthael, literally on this map in the past. I think it was back in the day of VGM gaming, but they had a game where they were literally just playing around the death timer of no one can stop death. And they were just playing around that 3-minute cooldown. So they would int into this crazy overextension fight and find a little bit of like an advantage with that, and then they would die and then just buy back and then just keep the pressure up like that consistently. But then they would sit there and just play around for 3 minutes. It was a very long game, but it was an interesting tactic nonetheless.
Yeah, interesting. Let's get into intros. Are you okay if I introduce 30k every time and you do Sidestep Kings?
Absolutely, go for it.
All right, on the left, in the blue, we have Team 30k in the top lane. Vespertine on the Malthael. Masquerade playing the Diva. We have Hasselub's on his trademark Medivh. BBJ playing Ana. I think this is the first time we've seen him in a competitive match. And then Sammy on the Gul'dan.
On the right-hand side, we got Sidestep Kings with Cattle on that Imperious trying to find Celestial Charges. We got Filth on Hanzo looking for the level 1 questing talent, as they almost got into Diva right there. Leoric will be played by Kyocha. We have Hyde on the Lucio, and Ultralisk, who is renamed from Guess Who I Am, will be on that Junkrat. Which I'm a little bit glad, because I think there might have been them watching the VOD, and they're just like, you know what? I'm tired of them saying Guess Who I Am, also Ultralisk, so they're just like, I am Ultralisk. This is it. I'm done with all of this, but...
I actually had that talk with Liam, and as I was like, hey man, if you want to get more Twitter followers, you should change your in-game name to Liam. Because it's like, for people that are watching, if they want to, follow you or support you and your name is Vespertine, most people would be like, okay, I'm going to go look up Vespertine on social media. So I think a smart decision coming out by Ultralisk there, swapping, back to Ultralisk instead of Guess Who I Am.
Yeah, just gonna, point this out. Why does the blue side have no, 3-0 KA before all their names? This is really interesting
Well, so because of Blizzard, you can't put numbers in the front.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to put it at the end of the names. So it'll be like Sammy, 30k, BBJ.
Okay.
I actually kind of like better. Sammy,
Ooh.
is going to get booped in here. Aswab's trying his best to save him, not going to be able to. Ultralisk doing a really good job on the Junkrat, you know, setting up that kill.
First blood will go over to Sidestep Kings as we are going to have the announcement for our first objective phase of the game. Will be Mortar Punisher and in mid lane, or bottom lane, excuse me. Mr. Law, would you like to find out a nice little mechanic on Infernal Shrines as an observer?
Yes.
If you take your cursor and you hover over the shrine right now, it'll tell you it's mortar. If you go to the shrine, you have no idea what it is. So you can know in advance what your shrine will be by using your minimap
How do I hover?
with your cursor. Yeah.
Oh, inactive mortar shrine.
Yeah, but if you go and click on it right now, if you look at it,
Yeah,
you have no idea. You have no idea. It's just a blank. So there you go. If you're ever wondering what the shrine ahead of you is, you can go ahead and do that. Also, same premise. You can actually hover over camps to find out their cooldown counters instead of having to actually literally look at them. Well, little tips and tricks that'll keep you in hard stuck in gold. But this is going to be our Mortar Punisher kicking off right now, and it looks like they're going to try and find their way in on the side of 30k.
Yeah, and it is going to be a 5v5. Sidestep Kings, we're able to rotate here first, guys. Keep your eyes on the bottom right. 20 objectives to 6. It looks like the red team is definitely winning here. Level 7 going to be closely achieved. 25 to 10. Sidestep Kings are winning it. Masquerade does have the bomb, though. Vesper team going in here, doing a decent amount of damage. And it looks like 30 to 13. Masquerade trying to zone on the Diva, 31 to 19. Sidestep Kings most likely going to secure this one. Baja, is there anything 30k can do?
The displacement from Junkrat is so much, and the explosive arrows from Hanzo will get this right here. The AoE clear is just too much. Even though they have this Gul'dan, even though they have the sustained damage from Diva, it's just way too much from the displacement. And dear lord, the dive from Cattle through the wall onto Masquerade as they sidewall to get Cattle out of there. And that's actually Sammy getting dove on really quickly by Hyde and got Filth with the damage, finding another kill into the Gul'dan.
Yeah, and it looks like Sammy is going to die. That's a lot of their clear as well. So, I mean, this is going to be a fort falling, a pretty, you know, rough death there on, you know, the Gul'dan for Sammy. Fort going to go the way of the Sidestep Kings. And, I mean, they've got to be happy with that. A fort as well as Kyoche able to double soak throughout all of this. Masquerade rotating over mid to help. Let's check in on the quest. It looks like Haswab's only 12 out of 40. Gul'dan only 7. I mean, they have been kind of just off clearing a lot of times. So that is one of the downsides of off clearing, is that you don't actually get the number of stacks that you would normally have. And 2 important stacking heroes for the side of 30k.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just trying to get your volume up a little bit more on my end. I have some limiters that I'm just currently balancing out, so just give me one second.
I can just, yeah, I'll just keep talking and then...
Oh, there, perfect. Yeah, no, I think we're all good. I'm actually going to turn down my stuff, but regardless, next Punisher will be Arcane in mid lane. Do you think 30k can bounce back with the 10 talent tier spike, or is this going to just be Sidestep Kings with the talent tier advantage from the slight experience gain that they have, able to then just push their way or muscle their way through this Arcane Punisher?
Yeah, I think both teams will have level 10. So it will be a pretty even level 10 team fight, but whoever wins this next Punisher will probably be in kind of like the driving seat for the game moving forward, right? They'll probably be the team that's set up with the superior talent tier advantage, but Masquerade is going to be able to juke the Imperious. It would have been a bit scary if he did get hit, able to take the portal out. Cattle, I mean, getting a lot of value this game. Hanzo as well, got Filth. I mean, they just have so much pressure from Sidestep Kings when it comes to the objective. Junkrat, Hanzo, both have, you know, a lot of stealing capabilities, which just enables them to, you know, win the objective. I think 30k needs to be there on time. They need to be there with 5 heroes so that they can potentially, you know, actually win this objective.
All right, well, perfectly said, and I think I got you nice and leveled out, so that's going to be awesome so people can hear you. I think I was just a little bit over you when I was fixing levels. Regardless, we're 10s up on both sides. Malthiel holding, I don't think we see... Do we see Nano Boost Tormented Souls? Is that the possibility here? Is that the play?
I mean, I actually think it could be pretty decent. I mean, they could go for the one shot, right? They have Borify, they have Nano Boost, but a Nano Boosted Tormented Souls, I mean, into Imperious, Leoric, and on the Shrine, I actually kind of like it. If 30k does choose to go for it, I think it could be pretty solid. But Vespertine on the Malthael needs to be a bit careful. Hanzo Arrow is going to miss, but I like that. Listen, I love aggressive Hanzo players. You know, people that are not afraid to throw the arrow, because if they get that pick, it is pretty big for their team. He does miss it, but I like the attempt.
And it's not the longest cooldown in the world right now. It's a 70-second cooldown to that one, so they'll have it during this Shrine phase. As we noted beforehand, will be Arcane Punisher. But this is now just going to be Masquerade getting bopped out of the lane, and I'm still just waiting to see what the setup overall is. I think 30K has a little bit of the positional advantage, I feel, especially with Hazuabs flying over them and seeing exactly where the enemy team is. And wait, hold on, Junkrat? Nope. Sorry, I was looking at the minimap and I was like, Junkrat, you're kind of by yourself right now. But no, they're going to be fine for now, and this is just going to be a Shrine kicking off. Who will take it's the big question, as Masquerade does have full Mecha Explosion available.
BBJ though in the back on the Ana, falling low, ley line, as well as the mech is going to do a lot of damage. Oh, you Horrify as well, but BBJ falls in the back. 4v4 nano boost on the mouth. Hazuabs with the juke, able to just mount up and get out, but it is going to be a 4v4, and the hero healer is dead for the side of 30K. Masquerade going to get booped in on the Diva, trying to kite out, and Tomb going to force him in, losing the mech, going to be able to take the portal out, and it is going to be still a 4v4. Hyde trying to heal everyone up. Cattle as well, barely able to get the Diva, but was it a bit of an extension? It looks like it might be.
Nice sound barrier coming out from Hyde right there to keep them alive, as they're actually going to kite away a little bit. This is going to be 29-29 on Skeletal Defenders, and I think this is just going to be who goes in for this. They have to be cautious with Cattle because they're very low, as that's Hanzo with an arrow hitting Diva, but they got into the mech. Cattle's going to be going down. Kyocha going to Wraith Walk away, but they still get the kill on the side of 30K with the double kill in their favor. Displacement from Ultralisk will push them away far enough, and they find second Punisher of the game on the side of Sidestep Kings.
Wow, Ultralisk able to secure. His team was down like 6 objective, and they're able to get Hazuabs as well, and that's his stacks reset. What a turnaround. I thought that went so well for 30K. If they would have gotten that objective, they also got top fort during all of that because of the Bruiser, but losing their Medivh stacks, as well as not getting the objective 2-man sleep though. Are they going to be able to get anything here? Masquerade looking for something, but like Ultralisk during all of that was tunnel vision on focusing the objective. And I mean, I think it was like 32-38. All that 30K needed was 2 more, and they were unable to actually get them. And Ultralisk, really smart job just keeping his eye on the objective, trying to secure that, and he does it for his team. I mean, because if they lose that, they probably would have lost 2 forts, which would have been pretty scary.
This is absolutely wild right now, because also I peeked over at chat. They were saying it was 39-40. It was literally one Skeletal Defender. Tormented Souls will be used by Vespers. That's going to be a Leyline Seal coming in. Micro Missiles out from Masquerade to slow down Cattle, who did pop their Angelic Armament, trying to find some damages. Hyde is going to go ahead and utilize the sound barrier, but Hanzo's a little too far away. Vesper overextending for that kill, so a 1-for-1 trade as the Entomb goes onto BBJ. They get the sleep dart into Kyocha, who's immediately woken up. The sound wave from Hyde, the little bop from Hyde is going to be displacing them a little bit, but no one else going down during the fight right now. Hyde, though, playing this very aggressive.
Yeah, and it looks like they are just going to portal out. Good jobs coming out from Hasu, zoning for his team. I mean, what a brawl, though. It looks like both teams are pretty content to just be taking these fights. Again, Medivh dying in that last objective team fight is only at, 4 Arcane Rift stacks. It's going to be pretty difficult for him to stack that as the game goes on. Gul'dan at 17, and then Hanzo is going to be Q-build, is currently, 1 more needed on Medivh, Gul'dan, and Malthael. All of those are decent, damage power spikes coming out for both teams. Definitely would like to see the red team take out their Bruiser camp before the objective this time, as last time blue team had the objective or the advantage there and was able to get a free fort.
I'm just looking around the minimap to see what the setups are going to be right now. We are going to be having our next Punisher bottom lane will be frozen. Medivh's still hanging around the top lane, just pushing this up a little bit, and Ultralisk just pushing this back, but playing it a little bit slow, I think, trying to bait the Medivh to stay up there a little bit longer. And with this, I think it's the race for 16. Obviously, Sidestep Kings will hit it first. Crowd control, not crowd control, a different team. 30K isn't going to be too far off on their own. I think they just got to play it safe and not try and find a fight here that's being forced by Sidestep Kings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 30K needs to back up. 16 has been achieved. Would expect to see Gotfilth. I mean, we've seen him throw out Hanzo arrows before. Wouldn't be surprised if he sees an opportunity, potentially looking for it. Masquerade going to rotate to the top, secure all that soak. BBJ and Sammy going to take their knights. Good rotation, as the objective should be spawning in, a little bit. Oh, and just like that, the objective is going to be spawning, but they might lose their mid fort, as it looks like Sidestep Kings does want to force with that level 16 advantage.
They reel it in themselves with Masquerade in the top lane, and this is going to be that Bruiser call you were mentioning earlier. They're going to go for that on the right-hand side, but the same can be said on the left. Now, The only difference between these two is going to be the periodic catapult pressure coming out in favor for 30k. So technically, their shaman camp should be more powerful. It just really depends on if the shaman gets targeted by a catapult, the wave, or the other shaman in general, because that's really the only downfall of that camp is if it just gets targeted. Otherwise, it just pushes indefinitely, and that'll be some pressure they have to deal with at some point. But right now, Sidestep Kings has the advantage on the point with nearly half of their defenders. Can they get this, Michael, at all?
I mean, it looks like they're just going to be playing it slow. I like this for them. They have the level 16, Pierce coming out by Hanzo to just steal some, minions. You just saw that, as well as Ultralisk. Riptire is going to be coming out. Masquerade is going to be forced to use that Diva mech, but in a bit of a scary situation here. Masquerade barely able to actually survive. Vespertine in the back line as well. Horrify, Cattle falling low. Vespertine 1v3 here on the Mouth Ale. Is he going to be able to get out and survive though? Hasawab's able to get the protect onto him, and that's going to be a 4v5 at this point. Vespertine able to escape. Team portaling in 30k, but the objective again going the way of Sidestep Kings. Hyde looking for the Hanzo arrow, got built with the 3-man leyline coming out. Masquerade gonna lose his mech here. Baja, what are they gonna look for off this?
They pressured them out right now, and I think that they're just going to look for raw push through the bottom lane. I think they're expecting them to have to hearth back or at least go back for mana or health. You know what? I started saying that and I was like, extending into the bottom lane is a bit of an extension, like overextension. Just go for mid lane fort and then maybe they go for top lane fort as well. On the note of the shaman camp, it was actually the red one actually got beat out by the blue side. And this is what I was talking about, the catapult pressure amplifying that wave. And so that blue side winning out naturally, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they had anyone clear that camp in top lane. But now we have Cattle up on the right-hand side of our mini-map, clearing that out. Kyocha and friends to grab this before Medivh can make it in. And anyone wondering, Medivh at 9 stacks currently. The Gul'dan at 20 out of the 40. Hanzo finished their level 1 questing talent and 35 stacks out of 100 for the Mithril Mace on that Leoric. Getting into this later half of the game here, do you think that there's a 20 talent that could turn this game around for either side? Or do you think it's just going to come down to invades in the actual just playing the map itself?
Yeah, I mean, well, Leoric, one of the best level 20s in the game. Silence and Tomb, I think, will definitely be a pretty big scary turning point as well. I actually think the level 20s for Sidestep Kings are a lot better. You have level 20 Riptire, you have Lucio that, with a level 20 Sound Bearer will be getting a lot more heals. And then of course, Leoric, Silence and Tomb could be really scary if they look for an aggressive portal into a Silence and Tomb. That might just be all she wrote. Or like, let's say Hasawabs is forced to come down to shield someone, he could get Silence and Tomb and then potentially die. Level 18 to level 18, about a, 3/4, like, Masquerade going in.
Really good concussion mine on the point. As you noted in the draft, you were saying that Junkrat is often considered a counter into the Medivh with those steel traps and those concussion mines, and we saw it right there. Vesper came through, got displaced into the front gate. Everyone ran away. They were like, okay, this isn't a good engagement. We can't find anything. Let's back off and retry this again. But I think that constant threat of that portal in this later half of the game is a very, very good point. I'm excited to see what happens with that. If anything, is it looks like it's going to be a mid lane Punisher for our next one, and it's just going... Have we had a top lane Punisher yet? I'm just trying to remember, think back right now. I feel like we haven't.
I don't think so.
It's just been mid to bottom, constantly going back and forth.
I didn't even know that could happen. I thought it went like one each time.
So it's supposed to randomize across the map, and it's supposed, and there's some super there's like 2 possibilities if I'm not mistaken. Like you can get same lane, same Punisher previously, which is like infinitesimal, but then you can also get same lane, different Punisher if I'm not mistaken, but they're both very, very ultra rare. I've never seen one in the years I've been casting this map. Jayhow claims to have seen one in their games, but I don't know about that
like
one.
A rare Pokemon. Everyone's
Exactly,
like,
it's like seeing Ho-Ho at the start of your adventure.
I mean, level 20 here has been achieved for Sidestep Kings. And, it looks like the rare Pokemon not going to be spawning this game. Unfortunate for everyone. Dude, I am pretty excited. This is a tangent. But I'm super excited to see what happens with, augmented reality. Because remember Pokemon Go?
Oh, yeah.
That was a thing?
Oh, hell yeah.
I hope it comes back when, augmented reality and, virtual reality is more of a thing. Because that would be pretty fun. But Masquerade going to get... Actually, Celestial Charge here, Hasawabs with the boop, the 3-man leyline. Riptide coming out, Masquerade with the insta-stop though, and Hyde on the Lucio looks so dead to me. Gonna get horrified by Sammy. This looks disastrous for Sidestep Kings. 1 dead, the question is how many more? Cattle falling as well, and that's 2. Godfilth able to escape. Hasu with the portal in. Baja, they're going deep here. Is this a potential GG push for 30k?
Oh, the biotic grenade is gonna deny any healing into that. That's gonna be a triple kill. I don't know. They're looking to end. They are. Maybe? I don't know. Like, Sammy came over here and I was just like, okay, like, I get you have 3 dead on the opposing side, but I think right now, getting the objective, pushing the waves, and just getting the map opened up a little bit more is probably the priority. At least in my eyes right now, because with this objective, you guarantee... I mean, right now, you're probably going to guarantee maybe you're going to guarantee at least keep front gate off of this, and then probably half a keep, but if you can find a staggered death with Got Filth, who's way on the enemy side of the map, that'd be great. That's not going to happen, though, and Malthael left on the point, as they do have that cleave. They've got really good Shrine Clear, Ana and Gul'dan to push up this mid lane, so I think they're definitely going to be looking for keep here, as they've got the wave pushed in. They've got a camp to be grabbed as well. Kyocha did push up the bottom lane, and it's going to harass over here, but not enough. Ooh, wait. No, they should be able to Wraith walk away, right?
Yeah, they should be. I mean, it looks like they did 39 it. So 30k here wants to even up the map pressure. They took out double siege. I'd wonder if they'll take 39 here and look to pressure with both of those, or if they're going to take out their knights. Okay, it looks like they are going to take out their knights. They want to clear out bottom. So the reason they didn't actually cap the objective here is, you know, Masquerade would have to stay bot and clear this out. Otherwise, they would lose a keep. So they're just going to, you know, opt to take out their knights and then probably finish the cap. And at that point, they will be looking to siege the keep.
Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Kyocha just doing Kyocha things into Masquerade, and this is, I wasn't expecting it to go as well as it is for Kyocha, but this is kind of going well for Kyocha, who's just AFK pushing a keep in bottom lane. We actually saw this in Exhibition Weekend. We actually saw Kyocha pull this off in Exhibition Weekend and get a fort during an objective phase, and this is going to be a free keep bottom lane. Like, I'm still just watching Leoric just... Are we serious right now?
I mean, I guess they're just giving it and looking for potential mid-top. Like, looks like a free keep to me, Kyocha. You know, that maybe that's where his experience comes in. Well, you know, one of the, you know, winningest of all-time Heroes of the Storms player, able to get a free keep for his team. Yeah, and that will actually go down to the catapult that just spawned into that lane. They did Hearth back. They're back joining the friendly team. That's going to be a leyline seal from Hazwabs. Also to note, Cattle did use their medallion as the Punisher got the first jump, but that's going to be a massive arrow from Got Filth. Kyocha trying to get out of here as they're very low. A lot of damage over time onto them as they go down to the Malthael. Punisher on core. Going to drop the shielding a little bit, but not going to find the damage into the core. Kyocha trying to steal some life as well. And they actually get the double keep off of this push in favor for 30k. So all in all, that's basically 1 for 2 keeps during an objective phase, and you get a Leoric. I gotta say, I know you're the owner of 30k, but that's still a little bit of an advantage for Sidestep Kings in that overall, you know, team fight right there. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think it was potentially a scary situation. Yeah. Hyde, I want to note, had a really good Gladiators medallion there. Actually stopping the Horrify from Sammy off the ley line. That would have been a dead Lucio, right? If they killed the Lucio there, maybe they can actually look for the end, as they did have the really big top lane coming in. But that's one thing to know for the next team fight. If Lucio ever gets, you know, ley line sealed again and Sammy's in, you know, position to Horrify off of it, that is going to be a dead Lucio. So I wonder if 30k is going to be calling that out and looking for it. That's one thing I personally really want to see, is people playing around Medallion much better. Yeah. I mean, like, because it's still relatively new, but I feel like there's so much outplay potential with it.
There's so much, and like, I like how the conversation for the longest time was like, what is the CC? You know, like, what's the point and click CC? Now it's what is my point and click save my ass button? Like, you know, Gazla going into oh my god, I can't think of it at level 10. Basically, you have your own self cleanse with your heroic and. Not Gravel Bomb.
Oh, no, Robo.
Thank you. I could not think of that. But, like, self-cleanses are a big thing to consider now. Like, Garrosh with Indomitable, like, that just became an insane talent at level 4 for heroes. 13 talent tier 4 Malthael as well, which they actually didn't go into this game, but you can get your own self-cleanse, but you remove your Reaper's Mark. So, it's a lot of those little things, like Will of the Forsaken on Sylvanas as well. Yeah, like, there's just so many things to consider nowadays that I feel like it's how can I save my own butt versus how can I like chain CC people.
Yep. Which, I mean, I honestly, I know a lot of people hate Medallion, but I was here for the meta where it's like you just got stunned once and you were stunned for 10 seconds and dead.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I kind of okay with it, but one thing I do want to know about this game, Reaper of Souls level 20 upgrade for the Tormented Souls, selected by Liam, as well as level 20 Nano Infusion. So this Malthael is going to be pretty hard to kill, but Entomb coming out, Hanzo Arrow as well. This doesn't actually look very good for Sidestep Kings. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill the Diva. Lane line coming out as well. They could potentially look for something here. A lot of ults used for the side of Sidestep Kings, but it looks like they're going to be happy just kiting out here, actually. Lauber in my chat, baby raging about Gladiator's Medallion. Name a more iconic duo all the way. Lauber, you know, 9 death Diablo in the last show match. Anything to say for yourself? Wow. I mean, they beat us at Icebreaker, so it's like, I'm allowed to, you know, beat them.
I mean, from my perspective as someone who never played in that meta or ever got to play at that level, the one thing that I love about Gladiator's Medallion is it changes up the competitive environment even more so when it comes to our 5v5, you know, everyone's in comms kind of games. Storm League, it's yeah, I'm sure it's a very annoying beast, but in competitive where it's actually like league driven and stuff like that like we have, I think it's such an interesting tactic and tool that we can have here. But Masquerade will lose their mech. Hanzo looking for the Sonic Arrow stun with that 20 talent tier upgrade. Kyocha in this backline, maybe looking for a massive entomb. They're getting low though. They need to back off with Hyde.
I mean, they also have mid cata pressure potentially, but there's bottom cata pressure as well. 3, soon to be 4, but Vespertine is going to get nanoed, as well as the Tormented Souls coming out, Riptire, as well as Hanzo Arrow. Liam doing so much damage to Cattle. The sound barrier is barely going to miss, and now it's going to be a 4v5. I would expect to potentially see someone from 30k back, though. I mean, you have 3 Katas on your core. Ultralisk as well as Kyocha may just potentially be running for that. They might just go for the core backdoor. 30k needs to be careful here. Hyde trying to stall backs. This could potentially be disastrous if 30k is not able to back in time. Their shield's not going to have any HP.
Catapults are here. They move through the minion wave. Ultralisk here. Masquerade trying to get some damage out. Kyocha low, but they can steal health off of this mech, and they're going to get a little bit from that. 96% and falling on this red side as Kyocha does have to Wraith walk backwards. There's catapults on the right-hand side core. Leyline Steel connects onto one. Medivh trying to cheat onto Ultralisk, but doesn't find it. Got Filth is going to find... death as well, and this is junk. I mean, I don't know about this. Riptire goes out. I mean, it's not going to be full cooldown. They're making attempts right now on the side of Sidestep Kings, but this is now Gul'dan just free walking a Punisher through top lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be GG going the way of 30k, and I mean, Sidestep Kings looking for a play there at the end, looking for the core. I don't fault them for it because they weren't going to, like, the Punisher was going to GG anyways, right? Like, they can't really defend the Punisher, and, you know, I think them going for a potential backdoor play, it didn't work, but, you know, not terrible. Sammy may actually die here to Cattle, though. Oh.
Wait, Junkrat died over here on the left-hand side. This is Imperius goes down, but no, I think 30k. They're gonna take this one right now. Hyde is gonna try and end the game, but they're just a Lucio. They're just a Lucio, and this is Sidestep King's core gonna be falling here in game number 1 on Infernal Shrines. What are your thoughts after a big back and forth, almost 25 minutes here on Infernal Shrines?
I mean, all I'm gonna say is Sammy and Medivh both didn't complete their quests, so fine. You know what I'm saying? Just kidding. I don't believe in fines. I think they're generally a mistake. But you know, I say it for the memes. I mean, an unorthodox composition, I would say. I mean, it looks like they wanted to try the Tormented Souls with the nano boost. It seemed to do pretty well, especially in that late game. I mean, that team fight, it looked like Vespertine was getting so much value there.
Sorry, give me 1 second. I apparently have a package stuck at my door. Give me a sec. Oh my god, they're probably
exciting. But yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it was a pretty solid game coming out by both teams. Oh shit, let me see. Let me message Cattle. First pick or map pick. But yeah, guys, here's the builds as well. Cattle build. Is this not normal? I feel like this is a pretty normal Imperius build. This is the one that I go. If you guys are interested in the builds, here they are for all of the players. Yeah, I mean, both of them not competing, but again, guys, Medivh died almost competing his class at the second one, which is pretty rough. But you know, both teams are pretty hard fought series. I mean, level 24 to 24, 2 keeps down to 1 keep. Just, you know, the last team fight went the way of 30k. I guess I underestimated the value of level 20 Tormented Souls with level 20 nano boost.
I did as well, sorry. I apparently had a 4-sign package, and I missed it when I went on a walk with Bandit earlier, which is a 15-minute walk, so I was like, I'm not missing it. Sorry. I don't know what the package is, because I usually don't order that stuff, so who knows? Anyways.
Wait, the 4-sign package, and you don't know what it is? Is it like a gift? Did someone send you a...
I don't know. It's super light. It weighs like nothing, and I'm trying to figure out where it's from.
Opening package on stream, Pog?
I mean, it says it's from Hong Kong, so I don't know. Oh, it's from Razer! I know what it is.
Wait, what'd you get?
So they had a campaign that they did recently where it's like the little razor snake plushie you can buy, and if you buy one, which is like $25, they would plant like a bunch of trees or something like that. Yeah, it was like there was like a fundraiser thing that Razer was doing. So I was like, well, it's $25 and they'll go do something nice for nature. So hell yeah.
Oh, I think I've pulled it up. It's like it's got like big eyes.
Yeah, it's like a little snake.
Ah.
I was honestly gonna give it to Bandit.
Razor Conservation Project.
Yeah. I saw it and it looked cool.
Good for you. That's awesome, actually. That's so cool.
So we have 30K up one in our best of 5 show match here. And this is gonna be, what is it gonna be? This is gonna be map choice of them. So we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for 30K. So first pick priority coming out from Sidestep Kings, the losing team, as we have no map bans in our best of 5 show match. Going to Tomb of the Spider Queen here. Any priority from your team, or just it's a map where you can play it slow, and that's what they like to do? Because I'll be honest, they play for the long game and it works out for them. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like they have shown to be really strong on Tomb of the Spider Queen traditionally. I think it's because, so one of I think the strengths and also a bit of a weakness of 30K is we don't have necessarily, when I drafted the team, I drafted a lot of secondary shot callers, right? BBJ, a secondary shot caller, Vespertine, Liam, a secondary shot caller, Hasuab's a secondary shot call. None of them had experience, well, I mean, like had experience being the main lead shot caller, but all of them have experience like kind of thinking for themselves and coming up with ideas. So I think part of why we're so strong on Tomb of the Spider Queen is this map is all about individual rotations. And my team, I think, thinks for themselves really, really effectively. Which, you know, sometimes you'll see us make poor late game decisions or late game shot calls. And part of that, I think, is not having a dedicated shot caller. But I think, you know, it makes us much stronger on a lot of rotation maps.
Okay. So it's leaning into the heavy rotation rather than the slow play of Tomb of the Spider Queen. So it's more synergy over map, I guess you could say. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I mean, but also I think like I think you've seen my team on Tomb of the Spider Queen lose the first turn in a couple of times, and then they have the experience to not feed, right? Because it like the thing about Tomb of the Spider Queen is, as long as, like, even if you give the first 2 or even first 3 turn-ins, as long as you don't lose all your gems, you always have a comeback mechanic. Because there's generally this point where it stalls out where, yeah, they will have like lead, like they'll have like a, you know, a 2 or 3 level lead, but if your team's able to, you know, chain a turn in, maybe 2 turn-ins, you can pretty much bring it back. And I think I've seen 30K, you know, a couple of different times be able to, you know, do that.
There's also something to be said in the tactics that they might employ on the map, because there was a conversation I think I had with Crowan during the exhibition weekends about aiming for double turn-ins. You don't want really the first turn-in on Tomb of Spider Queen. You want to look for somewhere in the 80 to 90 gems in your pocket sort of deal, and that way, you know, you eat that first web weaver coming into you, which is typically a little bit weaker since it scales per minute, and you just get this, you get the second and the third one overall in the game, so you have that back-to-back pressure. And that was something they brought up, and a lot of the teams that did that, and your team included, it really seemed to work out for them, especially in the Icebreaker tournament weekend, because just having that sustained pressure, because you have one wave come in that kind of pushes up the waves, and then you get that second one which kind of descends on top of the structures, and that's such a big tool right there when you're looking to siege in further. But we already had a Medivh and a Joanna ban from the side of 30K, a Chromie and a Junkrat on the right-hand side. I was just about to say Gazlo is up and available, but they're going to grab that Stukov first for Sidestep Kings. Gazlo Cassia here on the side for 30K. Very strong heroes. What do you think they prioritize for Sidestep Kings?
I mean, that's a great question. I mean, they got the Stukov, so I'd expect to see him maybe potentially get a kill comp. I mean, something like a Leeming Garrosh. Okay, it looks like they are going to secure 2 DPS here, getting the Leeming and the Sylvanas. So they are showing their backline, but it is a really, really strong backline, especially into the Cassia as well as the Gazlo. One thing I do want to note, so when I was casting, I casted a Korean tournament with Kaldor for Chili Mountain, and their meta was a lot different in Korea. They were pretty much first pick, first ban Stukov every single time. So Hyde, able to get that Stukov, I mean, he probably has been playing a lot on that hero, has a lot of experience on that hero. And also, June popped into my chat, and I just wanted to give us all an update as to why June's not here. He said he was unable to make it because he had, you know, prior obligations, and that, you know, Kyocha and Hyde also wanted to give Hyde the opportunity to play. So it was kind of like a thing where, June maybe could have, like, I think June just had a prior commitment, and then Hyde, the whole team kind of wanted to play with Hyde and wanted to see what it'd be like.
Yeah, I think June has to drive around LA delivering puppies or something like that. So I understand. It's an important job that you definitely need to do. So for anyone that is wondering why June is not playing, June is out delivering puppies. So Hyde gets to step in with their Stukov as a Gul'dan Garrosh does get removed. And you were talking about this Garrosh, this kill comp, if you will, and they recognize that. But the other thing to note too, you were saying that their backline is being shown. They also have a very mobile backline with the blink from Li Ming and the haunting wave from Sylvanas. We already talked about her ability to have the Will of the Forsaken to kind of get out of there at level 16, but BBJ is going to be able to get their baby Brightwing, if you will, and Diablo coming in as well for a lot of setup. We actually just put out a video today of Kyle Ferguson and BBJ sitting down and talking about BBJ's Brightwing from the Icebreaker tournament weekends. It's a really, really cool video, and he breaks down exactly why he takes the talents he does and how to play the hero very well. So go check out BBJ's video on how to be a murder wing. But
hey stream, I linked the video in chat, so if you guys want to check it out, BBJ,
it's really good actually. Like,
yeah,
I took a peek at it and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. But Imperious variants, this is lockdown kill comp on the right hand side. But we have this Diablo. They need some sort of, okay. I was kind of thinking that the Gazlo, not based off of the player name associated, but like I thought Gazlo was going to be their solo laner for a little bit. But this URL coming in, it's the Liam special. What do you think?
I mean, I actually think 30K has got a pretty scary draft. Hasuwabs on the Gazlo. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually goes Robo Goblin, giving himself the self cleanse. Yep. I mean, you're playing into a kill comp, right? And if Gazlo's really hard to kill, Yrel really hard to kill, Diablo pretty difficult to kill, especially into a Leeming Sylvanas, right? And BBJ on the Brightwing, of course, going to be pretty difficult to get taunted. I actually think the composition coming out by 30K should be a bit, are pretty strong. They just have to be careful. Yeah. Especially, if Brightwing's not in range. I would say Cassia on the, Hasuwab's playing the Cassia would be the hero that they're looking to one-shot ideally. So as long as Hasu's playing pretty well, playing pretty safe, I think it should be decently difficult. I mean, both teams don't really have very good wave clear though. Right, like both teams have meh wave clear, so I'll be interested to see what happens. Varian gonna be a pretty weak hero before level 4. Would expect to see maybe Imperious in the 4-man, and then Varian solo, and then maybe they'll swap once level 4 is achieved.
Well, let's go ahead and get into Tomb of Spider Queen. Who we got on that left-hand side?
On the left-hand side, we've got 30K in the blue, Hasuwabs playing the Cassia Masquerade on the Diablo Vesper team, aka Liam on the Yrel, BBJ playing his patented Brightwing, and Sammy on the Gazlo. It's going to be my first time watching him play that, so it'll be pretty interesting. Who's there over on the right?
We got Hyde on that Stukov. We've got Ultralisk on the Li Ming, got Filth on the Sylvanas, Cattle on the Varian, and Masquerade, Kyocha, sorry, flipping names around. Kyocha on that Imperius will be the members of Sidestep Kings, as they do get scouted out really quickly with the Lightning Fury from Hasuwabs. And I gotta say this, my chat was baited to hell with the Hasuwab's potential Gazlo play, because they were like, yes, he's hovering it. We have a Gazlobs. Like, no Gazlobs this game, but BBJ being pressured right there. And this is something I was actually looking at with the draft. Like, their core 4 rotates, and at level 4 has single target burst that is absolutely terrifying, because taunt into Lurking Arm into combo from Li Ming, and then you just have Sylvanas with sustained damage. This is what I'm really afraid of for 30K, but at the same time, they can turn things around with Vesper. Masquerade taking a lot of damage. Does get the Fire Stump out. They shift in from Brightwing. Gonna be having some damage onto this Cassia, as Kyocha's looking to maybe get the kill, but they're gonna be forced away by Vesper. The threat of the Righteous Hammer is too much, and Li Ming is trying to get Cattle out of here. Maybe even force a kill, but everyone's still fairly healthy between the two teams, but 30K overall. Gonna be losing out overall on their health bars, if that makes sense. Hyde keeping them very healthy throughout that entire fight.
Yeah, I mean, the wave clear for 30K is not very strong. I actually am a bit worried for them. I think their team fight would be okay, but I mean, it looks like they're losing the rotation, and this map is pretty much all about rotation and how well you can get the wave clear. Sue and BBJ gonna be backing off, looking to take out their knights. Leeming on the top side, actually gonna get wallbanged, falling kind of low. Sammy not able to get the follow-up. But I mean, this kind of tells me that 30K recognizes that they're gonna basically be losing the early game, so just choosing to start up the knights. Because when you take out knights early, you give up all of your pressure on the map, right? Basically, you'll have one hero catch the wave wall on top and one catch it on mid. Both teams actually doing knights though, so it is going to be a bit evened up I'll be interested to see if Hasu, okay, they're going to hold the cap. I like this. So they're recognizing that Sidestep Kings was on their knights as well, and they want to hold the cap, and that way they can get basically a knight defense under their towers.
I actually really like that. Then also holding it, no, I was going to say holding it gives you the option to maybe even force that Night Camp in with your Web Weaver, but they are way too far off from any sort of potential turn in. I ended up doing the caster math, and I was like, oh, we still have so much left. As Masquerade gets dove on, they don't find a kill into them, but now this is going to be their own camp underneath the towers, and they're going to be clearing out the opposing side, maybe looking for a fight.
Yeah, I mean, Gazlo off clearing top. This might be a 4v5, though. They could potentially look for something. They lose a tower here. Would expect to see them look to pressure themselves. Vespertine on the Urel may potentially look to rotate out. BBJ wrote.
I was gonna say Celestial Charge was sidestepped by Vesper as I peeked into bottom lane, and BBJ gets the medallion out right there. Diablo finding a Shadow Charge, Polymorph onto Hyde. That's a Celestial Charge on a Masquerade as Vesper dives in once again. Righteous Hammer to force them back. And they're going to actually pop their own medallion trying to get out of here. They're actually going to find the taunt from the Varian onto Vesper. Not going to be able to find the kill damage into them as Masquerade is going to harass. Gets the phase shift from BBJ.
Yeah, I mean, the team fights seem really difficult for 30k. I thought their comp would be okay, but it looks like they're still pretty vulnerable, taking a lot of damage. Level 7, I think, should be pretty big for them. Vespertine able to walk out here on the Urel. Ideally, once that Brightwing shield comes in, they'll have enough sustain to be able to fight. Masquerade wall banging, got filth on that Sylvanas. Sammy as well, just kind of been off clearing all game. Gonna look to zone a bit here. Needs to be a bit careful as Cattle on the Varian does have taunt. Okay, they are just gonna be able to walk out. Kyocha though, able to drop 17 gems. That is definitely a lot to be able to get in. BBJ gonna stall Ultralist though. Cattle, kind of the player to watch as the Varian. I mean, if he's able to get a taunt, it's gonna be very scary for the side of 30k.
The setup for it is big here. There's going to be the backline dive. They're going to be looking for one. BBJ is the target, and you said it right there. That's a terrifying dive.
Yeah, BBJ just blown up. I blinked, and he's dead on that Brightwing. Cattle, definitely one of the best tank players. He was drafted number 2 for a reason. Oh, Hyde, though, gonna get Gazlo stunned, but was it a bait? It might have been. Masquerade trying to kite out here. BBJ does have the Z. If he's gonna be able to get it, this could actually be scary. The turnaround. Are they gonna be able to get anything? Oh, 5v4 though. Kyocha walking in, looking for Hasuabs. Hasu with the big sidestep. He said, Sidestep Kings who? Looks like he's gonna be kiting out though the taunt. Hasu with another juke, but BBJ doing everything he can to kind of keep him alive. And he's gonna be able to. Hasu walks out.
Real close right there with Hasuab's health bar. I think the big factor right there was the announcement of Brightwing returning. They obviously got the kill and they were trying to make something happen, but with the phase shift coming in, they respected that Diablo would have a big burst of health from that level 1 hyper shift, giving them the amplified healing. And so they were like, let's respect this, let's circle things around and maybe find a fight once everyone's kind of in position. But they're going to back off. No kills go out after the Brightwing, almost finding that Cassia. But this will be Red Web Weavers descending in favor for Sidestep Kings. First Web Weaver phase of the game, 8 up on both sides, as we see what siege value Sidestep Kings can bring to the table.
Yeah, and you see Cattle already on the Variant just mounted up, looking for any opportunity to get a kill. BBJ on the bot side helping get a free clear, but mid, Masquerade maybe potentially falling low, got filth on the Sylvanas, disabling it. Taunt coming out, BBJ gonna be able to TP in, good job, able to save Masquerade there, and Taunt's gonna be down, but only for 10 more seconds. Once that's up, BBJ is not gonna have Z, which means if they go on Hasuabs or BBJ, it could be potentially scary. Taunt up in 2, and they're able to secure an entire fort. During that, Sammy gets the free clear on top and they don't lose anything bottom, but a fort down, a fort with your first turn in. I mean, I feel like Sidestep Kings has to be pretty happy with that, but in the mid lane, Hyde, maybe a bit overextended. Masquerade able to get the wall bang, the taunt coming down, but Stukov's gonna die. Level 10 about to be achieved for both teams, but with that pick, 30k might be able to actually get a turn in here.
Cattle was trying to go for the last little bit of gems that were dropped on the ground, but it didn't work out. And as you said, the turn availability is here. And this is what I was talking about earlier in our draft. This is where I like to see teams aim for their turn in. They've got 81 in their pockets. They've got 14 already turned in. So if you get this first turn in and you don't lose any members within the Web Weaver phase, you can easily be able to pick up enough gems to facilitate a second turn in or a back-to-back, if you will. This is Masquerade going to be able to get the, that's going to be a Shadow Charge onto Kyoto. Kyocha. There was a phase shift from the Brightwing with the Polymorph. The Valkyrie actually gets the sidewall of Got Filth, and there's a taunt from the Varian trying to turn things around. That's going to be the cleanse onto Masquerade. They go down, Souls to reset, Gravel Bomb pulling in one. Vesper jumps over the wall, Kyocha getting low, but if Vesper overextend, doesn't seem like they really care as they're just kind of cycling around, mostly trying to pop the abilities to get their Dauntless value from level 1, but no turn-in is going to be happening just yet.
Kyocha gonna get knocked back here. Vesper forced to use the ult before the taunt. This actually could be scary. Apoc coming out as well. Kyocha gonna get Apoc stunned, and that's gonna be a dead Imperious Cattle trying to walk in and get these gems here. Could be a bit scary. Sammy able to channel the turn-in during all of this, but Ultralisk wasn't even there for any of that. They're able to get Diablo souls, so effectively they trade 1 for 1. They do lose turn-in, but Ultralisk during all of this did take out the bot camp, which means there's a lot of pressure. BBJ being chased down. Okay. Maybe they overextended though. Vesper team.
This is where Vesper likes to live, is just in the spot where they shouldn't be, as the overpower and everything goes on to Cattle. Hyde trying to heal up, but the displacement so much, and Hyde gets pulled back in with the Valkyrie. Can they make it out from the sidewall? Grab a bomb, actually, they utilize their medallion as well. Cattle lives. Cattle lives in all of this.
What?
200 and something health.
What was that? Okay, so they were a bit too greedy. They were trying to get Hyde, and they just let Cattle walk out. So it looks like Varian is going to survive, but we have a really big bot lane here, potentially looking for pressure. Kyocha actually maybe in a bit of a scary situation, does use angelic armaments. 4v3 down here as Urel's gonna be pushing top. Kyocha trying to kite out, forced to use that Gladiator's medallion. BBJ gonna use the Z. Cattle is back here. And it looks like, I mean, with the first turn in, okay, Vesper team was able to secure the top 4. They don't get mid wall, but they do get bot wall as well. So both teams with their first turn in able to secure a fort.
Not bad value, but here's the thing that we were just talking about. You see the gem turn in priority, and look at this already in favor for the side of 30K. I heard you like make a noise, and I looked at the minimap, and I was like, oh, Sylvanas, how you doing there, bud?
Yeah, he could have jumped in one more time, but he would have been behind the wall. So I think he was afraid that he might have died. But you know, he almost killed the Sylvanas. 57 gems. Ultra's actually able to drop 19 to 79. Looks like both teams looking for a turn in. BBJ on the bot side of the map, maybe a bit overextended. Not maybe. Oh, with the good. Oh, BBJ trying his best to escape. He's got another blink heal and 2, but the wailing arrow was just a bit too far up. Masquerade looking for the Apoc though, guys. This is a 4v5. You don't have Brightwing for another 25 seconds. Might be a bit scary here. I don't know if you want to fight.
I like the while they did get 2 blink heals out of the Brightwing, they managed to get a wailing arrow out from Sylvanas, which is an 80-second cooldown. That's big, and they're gonna try and re-engage off of that factor right there onto Hyde. That'll be a Valkyrie coming out. It actually kind of pulls everyone away from the Wombo combo synergy. Kyocha are gonna be fine right now as Masquerade goes down. No souls to reset Diablos. They're at 63 on that one. That's Hyde trying to get out of there. As yeah, Liam is jumping on everyone's head, but they just don't have enough damage to find another kill as Brightwing is back from death, but Diablo down for the next 19 seconds.
Yeah, and it looks like it is going to be a 4v5, which should allow Sidestep Kings to actually get the turn in. The reason 30K I think went in is because they saw Ultralisk on the leaning top, but if they would have waited like 2 or 3 more seconds, they actually would have had the Brightwing Z. Would have liked to see them be a bit more patient. Liam was trying to drop his gems, not able to. Kyocha looking to chase down the Brightwing. Cattle, guys.
Look at map.
BJ,
look at map. Look at map.
Oh,
they're all.
Sammy?
Oh my. Oh no! But Sammy gets caught out. They were all setting up in the. They were setting up in the bush to get BBJ in the flank, but they end up finding Sammy. They get the gems, but still, that's a staggered death as Diablo kind of just came back.
Yeah, I mean that's a rough one. 30K staggering deaths for sure. Level 16, about half or 3/4 a level away for Sidestep Kings. I mean, they might be able to get another turn in after this. Like, I think 30K is in a pretty scary position here. If they lose, you know, a couple heroes, the Sidestep Kings might be able to get a boss turn in with their level 16 advantage. So definitely feel like 30K needs to be careful here. They are just going to look to clear out bottom, clear out mid as well. They're going to lose top 4, maybe top wall as well. I mean, I'd like to see Sidestep Kings force a fight with 16. Just go bush comp this boss. right? Like if anyone face checks you, Diablo doesn't, like he only has 75 souls, potentially scary, as you see right here. Cattle already doing it, looking to bush camp. Masquerade really wants to check it. Okay, he does see smart heads up awareness from Masquerade, recognizing it might just be bush camping.
This was actually something, and I know there's gonna be people who groan and chat about this. This is actually something I saw in League of Legends a lot, and I'm seeing it more and more. And here's the storm. Maybe it's because of just the competitive realm and who we have bringing back, or maybe everyone's watching the League of Legends Worlds games still. But like people playing within the vision, not playing within the bushes, but the actual literal vision within Heroes of the Storm. And Cattle playing in the corner over there, knowing that the enemy Diablo couldn't see around that corner, that takes levels of experience. And I just wanted to highlight that because it's little things like that that set players above the others. And, you know, cooldown counting's another one of that. There's just so many little factors. So I want to just like point that out, that mechanic that Cattle was utilizing, like some people might be like, Masquerade can see Cattle. No, there was just a little bit of fog of vision blocking it, but they go for Masquerade. They don't get the kill. And they're doing exactly what you're saying. They're kind of just playing around these turn-ins because they know the enemy team wants to go for Webweaver.
Yeah, it looks like 30K just going to be forced to probably give up another turn in. Knights as well as Siege secured for Sidestep Kings. They're going to drop all their gems here. Someone in my chat was asking, is it normal for a Leeming to offlane this much? Guys, the reason Leeming has to offlane is because Varian as well as Imperious have no wave clear.
Yep.
Right? So Leeming has the best wave clear on the team, and generally you want the person with the best wave clear on the team clearing the side lanes. That way it's a faster rotation. So that's why we see Ultralisk so often doing this. And generally as Leeming, you don't want to be the one side laning. But in this situation with the team comp, I think it is definitely the correct decision, either having Leeming or Sylvanas.
Have you hit Control 2 lately in the game?
Oh. True.
Because that's going to be Celestial Charge onto Diablo really quickly as the Angelic Armament will be coming out. That's a Gravel Bomb pulling them back in the Apocalypse on top of everything. Flailing Swept to try and save one, but they lose the Imperious. Diablo Souls will be finished out. Vesper trying to chase out onto this. They're trying to make a play into Cattle, but they pop their Ardent Defender and they run away. All I wanted to note is just 109,000 roughly of siege damage from the Li Ming. The closest on the opposing side is roughly the Gazlo with 84,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot for Ultralisk. He's done a really good job catching these lanes for sure. 4v5, 30K because of that is going to be walking in Hyde. But did Masquerade go a bit too far here? Falling really low. That's going to be one reset for the Leeming. Haswabs as well. Going to get Xenon Vespertine looking for a potential kill. Hyde's doing such a good job at just keeping everyone alive. Liam, careful. You don't have an ult here. You need to back out. Diablo back up, so it is going to be a 4v5. They have APOC and 40, could potentially look for something. Looks like 30K is just going to be going for turn in on the bot side. EBJ as well as Vesper team. Cattle though needs to be careful. Masquerade looking for the wall bang, is going to be able to get it, and that's going to be a dead Varian.
As a bit of an overextension through that gate without your friendly team around, and that will be Blue Webweavers descending for 30K. Is a very odd rotation for Cattle, because like maybe they were like, oh, I'm gonna go check, or I don't know. It just, that was a weird one. They stepped into basically 5 enemy members, and they're like, cool, we got a Cattle and we got a Webweaver turn in. Let's go ahead and get some pressure here, but. Seems like Sidestep Kings want to slow this down, looking for Diablo. There's going to be a massive heal from Brightwing just in time. Gravel Bomb onto Hyde in the backline, has to force the medallion out from then. Kyocha low got filled, has to use the Haunting Wave to get away, and a lot of low health bars, but nobody goes down in that engagement.
Yeah, but during all of that, Vespertine on the Urel able to set up the waves in a good position. Mid and bot fort most likely going to fall. Top Spider was full cleared. But, this mid lane really is going to be where the brawl happens. 30K, if they don't die, and maybe they get a kill or two, they do have another turn off of this. Vespertine, no ult for another 10 seconds. Has to be a bit careful. The Imperious just absolutely disappearing. Vespertine setting that up. This looks pretty scary for Sidestep Kings at this point, because after this, 30K is going to have another turn in. So they might be able to get keeps, might be able to get a boss. And it looks like they are just going to be pressuring in mid.
They'll open up mid lane easy enough with this Webweaver. Bottom lane is still fairly healthy. They could look to cycle out and try and pressure bottom lane front gate, or they could look for the keep. They do have that kill in the Imperious. Cattle goes out looking for some pressure into Vesper. Does use the Ardent Defender, and that's going to be 120 second cooldown, 2 minutes onto that one. So they won't have it available till about 17:45-ish in the game. Bottom lane already cleared out by Sylvanas, and you were saying the back-to-back turn-ins available here, but they're looking for back-to-back plus boss, and this is a vision that they do not have on the side of Sidestep Kings. But right now I'm showing their vision for my stream, and this is just Cattle right below all of this. No Imperious. Actually, they use their banner to get the vision, and they know that they're on boss, but do they try and invade with their 20 talents here down Kyocha?
I mean, Imperious is up now. If this fight takes a bit, this could be a bit scary. I mean, level 20 as well. 30k wants to force the 4v5 before the level 20. It looks like they are just going to finish the boss here, but once Imperius gets here, this could be scary. It's still going to be a level 20 team fight. Masquerade is going to get taunted. Haswab's training. I'd like to see 30k just get out. I'd like to see them just run. You got the boss. You don't actually want to fight here. Sammy trying to kite. No taunt for 5 seconds. Vesper team on the rail. Good job from 30k, just escorting everyone out. And they may potentially actually look for a turn in here as they see Ultralisk. It is going to be a 4v5. Hasu looking for a stall. Vesper team does have just... Ooh.
This is, yeah, it's just that, because I actually see the tactic that they're trying to employ. They want the Webweaver to actually counter push the lanes, but the longer they don't turn in, the longer the boss gets free pressure. And that might mean that they get the blue turn in, but it's a sliver of a difference, and the red Webweavers will descend for the side of Sidestep Kings. That was close, because if 30k got that, that was a very, very sweaty moment to be in, especially on their side. It's like, how do we deal with this? Because we have so much pressure that we've kind of risked to just try and get the counter turn in.
Yeah, and one thing to know, I mean, the waves are in a decent spot for 30k, right? Like, bot lane is going to have a Kata. It is going to be pressuring out. Top Spider as well. Sidestep Kings is pretty much all in on this mid Spider, but really what they're all in on is looking for kills. The taunt variant follow-up from Li Ming as well as the Stukov. Watch Cattle on the variant, potentially looking for the one-shot. 30k, not 20 yet, now just achieved it. Gonna have to play just a bit careful here. BBJ, I'd expect to try and cleanse whoever does get taunted. Mid Spider falling a bit low here. Urel gonna be able to jump in. Now has Seraphim, a 2-second unstoppable and a 10-second cooldown. Somehow that's balanced, not sure, but Mid Spider is cleared.
It's gonna go down. They get the well, they get the front gate. If it not, actually, I think the front gate was already kind of down right there, so they get a well out of mid lane, but the top lane did press up during all of that time. They're gonna get a death wave out from that one, and they'll get the front gate. They're gonna move into bottom lane and try the same thing, anchoring from Kyocha to make sure that there's no flank coming out from the opposing side. Really good play from that. Hyde just sitting in the bush, doesn't really need to show, and I also like the utilization of the banner from the variant to amplify the spell power of Ultralisk and got filth on that Sylvanas and Li Ming, but now I think Sidestep Kings, they gotta play defensive turn in time, or they gotta look for a crazy fight. They were showing in this mid, so they have to know that the invade might happen. This is risky, really risky.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a bad spot for APOC as well as Gravel Bomb. Cattle is gonna the Hellgate pulling Cattle pretty fall. Vespertine looking for the flank. The Valkyrie actually gonna miss. So it looks like, Hellgate used on Diablo, Valkyrie, but it looks like Imperius, the APOC, to stop it though. Huge willing arrow from Godfield. Vesper team in the backline. Kyocha super low, and a pause coming out.
Rude. I'm gonna call it as rude as all hell. Apparently,
I mean, it is
a little bit of lag, but what server are we on?
Central, right? Okay, it's central. It's central.
It'd be funny if we got to this part of the game. It's like, oh, we're on West?
Nah, I told BBJ he's in charge of making lobbies because I want the centrals.
Because, yeah, I'm sure Hyde would be very happy if we were on West. I think Hyde and Kyocha would be like, oh, okay, all right. This is great. This is absolutely great. But, no, looking at this right now, this is actually a bottom lane fight that... I'm looking at health bars. Imperius is low. They did just pop their Gladiator's medallion, it looks like, and they also popped their Angelic Armament, because Gladiator's is literally on a 300 second and Angelic's on a 70, which is the actual cooldowns for those. So both of those used simultaneously to keep themselves alive. We have some readies coming out, so we'll get back into game in just a second. But right now, it looks like 30k kind of has the positional advantage and the fight advantage in this, as I think we're going to go back live. Cattle going to get overpowered. Flailing Swipe from Hyde will save them. They do have that controlled chaos from level 20, so they can utilize those singular swipes as Cattle has 500 health. Godfilt is trying to get out of there. Another Flailing Swipe from Hyde, and I don't think that there's one more. I was like, did they use the third one already? So I think they disengage from all of this.
Yeah, they're able to get out. I mean, 30k gonna be able to get the turn in here, but their waves are in a really shitty position. Hasu, it looks like he was just channeling it. Masquerade potentially looking for the invade here. They want it. Masca is gonna get Imperius as well as Stukov follow up, but he's gonna be okay. He used the spell shield during all of that. Hyde with a really good Stukov silence. Vespertine able to get his ult off. BBJ healing as well. Kyocha falling low, but Hyde, guys, just the Stukov silence causing so much disruption. They do lose one though, but the Web Weavers for 30k are in a terrible position. Their top web weaver is literally at their keep. Their mid web weaver is literally at their keep. It looks like they have to try and pressure in this bot lane. But expect to see Brightwing rotate towards top, as she will have the Z soon, and then Haswabs as well as Liam pressuring out the mid. I mean, they have a second turn in off this, or pretty close to it. But that is one thing to note, that their spiders are not in a very good position.
See, they got, I'm doing some caster math. They have 10, that's 30, 40. So they're shy on the side of 30K. Actually, if you're using Aliops, Control 6 gives you all the gem breakdown, or you can hit tab 50-50.
I'm actually gonna install that after this. We're gonna do a break after this game, by the way, after 2.
Okay.
I'll figure out because I gotta.
I'll walk you through it. It's super easy. It's literally, it's not even an install. It's a drag and drop.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 2 seconds. I don't even think you have to restart game. Regardless, 30K pushing in, looking to potentially take game number 2 here on Tomb of Spider Queen with a Web Weaver phase, but albeit very, very low. Maybe just looking for a keep. What happens beyond this is the question.
I mean, both teams kind of in a desperate situation. I mean, it's 1 keep to 0, but it's still a pretty even game. Right, as far as keeps go, getting the mid keep is generally going to be the worst, because, you know, most teams will fight around mid, but Masquerade, Cattle actually sniffing it out. Masquerade in a bit of a scary situation here. BBJ trying to heal the grab bomb, coming out Kyocha, the Valk as well, but the 4-man Willing Arrow, Masquerade blinking in, using Apopic as well. Kyocha on the top side is going to actually be alone. Masquerade, BBJ doing a good job keeping him alive, and boss is up at this point. This is scary for Sidestep Kings. If you give up the boss, it's probably GG, and they recognize that. Masquerade, you see him though, in Viz, waiting in this bush. 30K doesn't even want the boss. They just want to fight. They want that 4v5. Masquerade on the Diablo. Good poly coming out by BBJ, but Masquerade not going to be able to get it. The big knockback. The big knockback from Vespertine, and Stukov is dead. Cattle's going to fall as well. 3 heroes dead for Sidestep Kings. This looks disastrous.
They're gonna step in through this mid lane after finding triple kill. The most righteous of hammers from Vesper for the setup, and this is why Vesper is known for the URL play. The dip, diving, and dodging, and dipping, and dodging, and everything from them is absolutely wild. They're gonna be able to reposition people consistently throughout this game number 2 here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and they're going to be able to take this in a fairly strong fashion. Grab a bomb to zone them back, but this is core falling a little too rapidly, and game number 2 will be found in the hands of 30K. Can they take our best of 5 show match in a 3-0 fashion? We'll have to see in the next game. GG, well played.
Wait, Cattle said no break. Wait, Cattle. Wait.
Yeah, no, welcome to my life. No break, go.
Wait, I gotta pee.
No, you don't get to go to the just go. I mean, just.
He said already takes so long to start. Wait, did we take that much long to start? I thought
No,
we were like a couple minutes late, if anything.
I don't think we were very long to start.
Sure
Personally,
like, I gotta restart.
Okay, goodbye.
No, I just gotta restart my game so that I can get the Aliops, because it said download. Okay, so I download it.
All right, go into your documents. So usually just whatever folder you have on the left-hand side, there's your documents in this PC.
Okay.
And then there should be Here's the Storm.
Okay.
And then
Here's the Storm.
Interfaces.
Okay, interfaces.
And just drop the Aliobs 0.69 nice point storm interface in there. Just literally just drop it in there.
And that's it?
And then now in-game.
Okay, let me restart.
When you get in the game, let me know. And there's just one thing you have to do to point the game at the Aliobs. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hell yeah. Thank you, Baja. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Guys, by the way, Baja, an excellent caster. He also does analyst work for CCL. If you guys would like to check him out, you know, it's going to be twitch.tv/Bahamut Gaming. I'll be linking it in the chat.
Thank you.
So happy he decided to cast with us. You know, a much better caster than I am. And I appreciate it, Baja. Thank you. I was really happy when you said yes. I've been wanting to try and cast with you for a while now. And I'm pretty happy you did.
It's them work schedules, but this is literally half an hour from my other job ending. So I was like, I'll just start my day early. So I just woke up a little earlier today, and I was like, cool, I'll just I'll start working earlier, and then I'll be able to clock out earlier. So either way, we're here, and we potentially are gonna have I hope not a 3-0. Like we go to game 5, right?
I was gonna say, even if we have a 3-0, I bet people would be down to play another game. Actually, I don't know. The Sidestep Kings don't want to break, so maybe not. Wait, so now that I'm in game, what do I need to do?
Oh yeah, so all you have to do is
you
go to the cog, options, observe a replay, and make make both of them Aliobs 0.69.
Okay.
Yep, and then you're
My
all set.
obs.
All right.
My PO, nah. Fucking other teams trying to obs. Y'all can obs from our POV. Okay, wait, I'm gonna go pee real quick while they start.
All right.
Harry beat Baja. Wait, actually,
Just gonna tell your chat stories.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, dude. Tell him the Odyssey story of Baja.
Born in the small towns of Detroit. No, hello everyone. My name's Bahamut. I hope you're all having a good day. Thanks for watching our our show match. And I hope you're all enjoying it. If you enjoy all this, you should follow Michael Udall and give him all of the follows and bits. And you know what you should do is while he's in the bathroom, start not a sub train, but a hype train. Just like if usually 5 people have to donate a couple bits, and then it will kick one off. So just do that. Like 5 people donate 1 bit each, and then you'll probably kick one off, and there you go. He'll come back and he'll be all happy about that. I don't know. That'll be fun. I don't know, everybody. I don't know what to tell you all. I live in a forest. There's bears in my front yard all the time. We're apparently going into games, so you'll get the audio version from me. This will be the Baja report when it comes to the draft. But on my stream, we are into the draft. We are here on Battlefield of Eternity. For anyone that's wondering how we got to Battlefield of Eternity in this best of 5 series, let me get you caught up on that one. There's no bans in our best of 5 series. They agreed to this, and I double checked with them. So Infernal Shrines was the first map chosen by Sidestep Kings, which means that coin flip was won by 30k, opting for first pick priority in game number 1. They lost that first game on the side of Sidestep Kings, and so they opted for first pick priority for game number 2. 30k chose to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen, and they won that map. Sidestep Kings once again opted for first pick priority on game number 3, so 30k is going to be taking us to Battlefield of Eternity. For anyone that was wondering how we got here on the streams, that is how we got to Battlefield of Eternity in our best of 5 show match. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and as I said beforehand, I just hope you're supporting some Heroes of Storm streamers. Thank you for checking all this out and being so awesome. I don't know, I'm just rambling. But either way, let's talk about the draft.
You're doing great.
I actually caught everyone up on how we got here, so they're probably happy to know that we got to Battlefield of Eternity. But we do have a ban onto the Raynor Brightwing, so they will respect BBJ's Brightwing on the Battlefield map as a Chromie and a Medivh to be banned out. First pick, though, once again, over to Sidestep Kings. What is the priority pick for this team?
Looks like it is going to be the Cassia. I mean, Cassia pretty much first pick, first banned, really strong on this map. I mean, I definitely like that choice coming out by them. Good on this map as well, right? Like, it does allow Sammy to get the Leeming, but it stops basically 30k from picking something like a Greymane, maybe even something like an Artanis, which Liam is known to like. Cassia really a solid deny pick for the side of 30k.
I like this. I like that a lot. Also, they're going to be going into a Li Ming on us. That's going to give them race potential here. Just out of curiosity, did your community do what I requested of them and did 4 people or 5 people donate bits to start a hype train? Did it happen?
There was a lot of one bidders.
Yes, they did it! I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you. Regardless of the hype train going off or not, I'm proud of the people that actually did it. I was trying to get them to do a hype train while you were gone so that when you come back there'd be one, but either way, we have this Cassia, Lucio, Nubrak for the right-hand side, so a lot of dive and aggression coming out from Sidestep Kings, which part of me feels like that's a little bit of their tactic when they get kind of cornered here. Like, if I'm remembering some of the Icebreaker stuff in other games with just some of these players, I feel like when they get cornered, they play aggressive, and I feel like that's the draft direction right now for Sidestep Kings, at least.
I mean, I like that decision for them. I mean, Blaze is going to be secured for Vesper team, which is going to allow them to, have that safe potential. And I actually think it's pretty difficult, right? Li Ming and Anna both going to be heroes that play pretty far back, pretty difficult to kill. And Garrosh going to be picked for 30k as well. I feel like 30k's comp looks pretty scary so far, but it is going to be the Hanzo as well as the Diva. The last 2 picks for Sidestep Kings. I mean, they have pretty good dive, right? A lot of this game, I think, is going to come down to how well does their Hanzo arrow combo up with their Anub engage. Just because, if they time both of those spells at the same time, I think they could have a really good job.
There's a lot to be said too with the Blaze Garrosh pickup in the counter engagement, as well as Ana too. Sleep Dart, Jet Propulsion. You have Toss from Garrosh, Warlord's Challenge. Looks like so. This is more. I would lean into saying that 30K is a control comp, but they're gonna control the fight in their. They're gonna control the pacing of the fight is a good way to put that. You know, you have Sundering or Earthquake from Thrall, which is really good interrupts from all the die from Lucio, Nubrak, Cassia, D.Va. I actually really like 30K's draft in how they're kind of dealing with Sidestep King's aggression. I think that's really my end-all be-all analysis with that is just Sidestep Kings goes aggression, and they're gonna say, cool, we're gonna just control your aggression and play this a lot slower. They have really good sustain too. Like I love the response from 30K here. I personally don't want to give it over to them because I don't want this to be a 3-0. So I'm going to say Sidestep Kings wins this because I want a game number 4, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a difficult game for them for sure. I mean, just because you have the Garrosh ally toss, you have Blaze save as well, and then the Thrall Earthquake. One thing I do want to note, one thing that people thought was so good about Sidestep Kings is that they would have June to help kind of translate for Kyocha and Hyde. And since June is missing, maybe that is, something that we have to factor in that, June was kind of the pseudo translator for the team. So, maybe there is a bit of difficult communication barrier for Kyocha and Hyde as they both are Korean players. And I know Kyocha, from what I've heard, right? I haven't played a lot with them, but I've heard Kyocha's got really good English. But that Hyde maybe is not as fluent in English, so maybe that's a factor of maybe why they are it's difficult if you can't communicate and be on the same page.
Oh, definitely. I mean that there's a possibility of it. It is. I think Sidestep Kings is one of the most has the most regional variety of any team. They don't have a Canadian, which I do want to point out, and they don't have anyone from the UK, but both of those are a little bit limited. You actually have a Canadian player.
We have a Canadian.
Yes. Yep. Wait, hold on. And please forgive me. You don't have you don't have Cascon on your draft. Who has Cascon?
No, that's Oxygen.
Oxygen has it, and Cascon, which I actually didn't realize was a UK player. I didn't know that.
I didn't know. So is he EU or not EU? Britain?
Brit. Yeah. When I was doing research on their Wikipedia, it shows them as UK. So, huh?
No, pretty good to know. But I mean,
that's what I learned. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
You're good, guys. Game number 3. We've got 30K up 2-0. On the left, in the blue, speaking of 30K, Sammy playing his, trademarked Leeming, Masquerade on the Garrosh, Haswab's playing Thrall, BDJ on the Ana, and Vespertine on the Blaze.
On the right-hand side, Sidestep Kings are going to try and take us to that game number 4. Cattle on the Anubrak, Got Filth on the Cassia, Hyde on the Lucio. We've got Ultralisk on that Hanzo, and Kyocha all the way rotating, actually, into bottom lane as we're going to have a skirmish over this camp on that D.Va.
Yeah, both offlaners are going to be rotating in as well. Vespertine does have a faster rotate, but D.Va's here as well. A straight up 5v5, 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game, and it looks like Cattle is going to get thrown in here. Good follow-up route from Haswabs, but Cattle still had the E-up, able to escape. But I mean, these teams, I feel like a lot of times have been looking at the 2-man sleep, though, coming out. Hyde falling low. Is he going to be able to escape? Ooh. Yes, he is. Wow, they're brawling so much, Baha.
It's scrappy, but it's not, I gotta say, it's not as scrappy as Crowd Control versus Wildheart on that Towers of Doom game. Like, they literally fought for the first 6 minutes of Towers of Doom, like, non-stop in that game. It was absolutely wild. Like, Gul'dan finished their Pursuit of Flame in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is like 30 stacks on your Q from Gul'dan. Regardless, Hanzo goes down, and that will be first blood for 30K, as the first objective will be announced at 2 minutes and 30, and we have it up and available for contest at 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and it looks like, 30K going to be opting to take these Bruiser Camp. Generally, people will start this a little bit later. My assumption is that they'll take it. Haswabs will probably full back, and they'll just have BBJ sit here and kind of watch it. As you generally want to take, guys, the Bruiser Camp around, like you want to cap it around 10 to 15 seconds. We'll see BBJ probably do that, and it looks like Ultralisk as well as Hyde on the other team is going to be taking out their Bruiser Camp. A bit more delayed, though. And yeah, you guys see BBJ. It looked like he chose 17 seconds to do it. Generally, I do 15 because I like, numbers that are increments of 5. He is a man of chaos, so he chose 17.
It also the argument to be there's an argument to be said as well as what you're talking about at the specific timing too, because depending on what time you take it depends on how quickly it gets into lane, and how quickly it gets into lane is how quickly the enemy team can clear it. So right now it's just now getting into top lane on this right hand side for Sidestep King, so that means that it's already the objective phase, so you have to force one out. Cassia to be said the same thing in bottom lane as they're clearing that out, but it's just one of those things that the reason we're harping about the timing is not only about our own personal timers in our heads, but it's also just the how quickly it gets into lane and how quickly the enemy team can clear it out, and how much you can delay them from actually fighting over the objective, as we are just about near our halfway point. I think like there's like one more auto that needs to go into Alarian here to be able to trigger. Literally the Sonic Arrow actually got it, but that's going to be the halfway phase, and it is going to be in favor for Sidestep Kings. This goes to the race potential side. Who wins this is the question.
I mean, I believe that the Hanzo Cassia team would most likely win it, as they do have more rates. Really good job coming out by Ultralist, speaking of, on the Hanzo. During all of that, when, you know, blue team 30k was posturing, it was able to get raced, and it looks like red team Sidestep Kings is going to be able to secure it. Masquerade looking to pressure for the globes. Both teams just kind of posturing here. Sammy throwing out a combo, doing decent damage. Baja, real quick, a question for you. How do I pull up the talents, like in the middle? What's the hotkey?
Control 1.
Control 1. That's pretty exciting, actually.
Yep. The reason that Aliobs is better is, one, Aliobs actually communicates with the community and actually takes advice. So, for example, the Deathwing being able to see his Cataclysm and the Bellowing Roar was a suggestion from Twitter. There's a lot of little things, like he actually added in a little tick marks for Gazlo and Junkrat for their bombs and just their charges. So, little things like that. Also, it makes the bottom bar so much smaller, and Michael Little, I'd like you to go ahead and hit Control 3, which is one of everyone's favorite stats.
APM.
Yes!
Why does BBJ, why does Hyde have almost 900 APM? What the hell? No one needs that much APM. That's insane.
There you go.
What is this?
But Control 4 gives you the XP breakdown. Control 5 gives you the healing as well as the time death. 6, what I was talking about in the last map, which unfortunately is not useful on any other map besides Tomb of Spider Queen, actually will give you the gem breakdown per player, so you don't have to hit tab, so you can sit there and do caster math and look dumb. 2 is going to give you your regular stats, and 1 gives you your talents. Also, you can actually go to like 7, which is kills and deaths, and 8 is time CC'd.
That's
a lot of information in there that is not in the standard Blizzard UI. So either way, we have our fight over this bottom lane camp, as Masquerade is going to be invaded by Cattle with the burrow, but they're not going to be able to find a kill. Sleep Dart into 2. We're going to get some scatter arrow value into this, but that's a fend from Cassia, and I cannot believe it. Masquerade lives through so much.
I mean, that hero is kind of insane. Cattle with the big 3-man burrow. Sammy, though, needs to be a bit careful on the Li Ming. Is just going to be kiting out here. Masca very low on the garage. BBJ saying, yo, can everyone chill out for a second? I need to heal y'all up. Masca probably just going to stay here. I'd like to see him stop his back, actually. Okay, maybe he was just looking to bait the channel. Fort going to be pressured. 4 Sidestep Kings. Yocha is going to be down here, so it is going to be a 5v4. Hasu doesn't have mana. Needs to be a bit careful. BBJ trying his best to keep him alive. Good ally toss for Masquerade, saying, I got you, fam.
Yeah, that into the fray. Honest to God, they really need to rename that to out of the fray, because that 9 times out of 10, like, I will say this, it is also, you can utilize it as like the poor man's leap. Like, you can basically do, you can throw Sonya in, so you can get Wrath of Berserker value and leap value. So I'm just saying, there's a little bit of argument for that one, but right now it's just going to be Vesper getting out of top lane, Hyde trying to come up here and find a little pressure into them, but they're not going to be able to make the rotation quick enough.
Yeah, and I mean, level 10 going to be achieved first for Sidestep Kings. They're about half a level away, so a bit scary here for 30k if they can't force a team fight soon. And it looks like they are just going to be taking out their knights here, probably pushing out bot lane. Looks like they're probably just going to soak for level 10, which means they may have to just give this objective. Actually, there's a decent bot lane. They're going to give halftime for sure, right? Halftime is probably going to go the way of Sidestep Kings, and then 30k will reach level 10 and then look for a potential team fight.
The big thing within that sentence is, do they find a kill? Because if they find a kill on the side of Sidestep Kings, this is going to be more than just a halfway phase. That's actually going to be Indomitable popped from the Garrosh. So it's a 40-second cooldown to that one. 10 talent here, just about to roll in. And as you said, the halfway point is here.
Yeah, level 10s have been achieved. Cocoon, Dragon Arrow, Ball Lightning, Micro Missiles, and then Sound Barrier. And then we have Nano Boost, Taunt, Disengage, or Disintegrate, Bunker, as well as Earthquake. Sammy did pick the Disintegrate, going to use that to try and stop the Cocoon. Hasuabs is going to use his really good Gladiator's Medallion from Hasu, eating that Hanzo Arrow, but Cocoon is going to come out. Sammy, Nano Boosted, Disintegrate, instantly gets Masquerade out. Bunker coming down as well, trying to peel for him. Kyocha on the Diva is going to be able to get the mech off, and it looks like Sammy potentially in this great situation here. Hyde booping him out of the stun, though.
They tried so hard to lock Sammy into the mecha explosion, and they were just on the edge of it. This will be, though, a lot of buttons pressed, almost every medallion used on the side of 30k, as they only have their Li Ming, but they're going to burrow charge into Vesper, and that is a dead Blaze, and this is going to be a fully shielded Immortal going into the top lane, as it will get a stun onto Ultralisk. For anyone that doesn't know why the Immortal is going into top lane and how I already knew that, the mechanic for this map, kind of like the mechanic for Braxis holdout for the Archangel, it will always prioritize the more well-defended lane. So, since bottom lane has no fort, towers, or anything, it will prioritize top. If there was literally a sliver of damage on top lane and there's no damage on bottom lane whatsoever, it would go to bottom lane because it is technically the strongest lane. So, little factor in that one. If you ever were wondering which lane it goes to, so that way you can utilize that in your own games, there you go. But they're going to push in with this, and can they take more than just the fort? Ooh,
Diva,
good flank, yeah.
Hanzo Arrow, two-man Hanzo Arrow. Sammy just gonna get blown up on the Li Ming, and Cocoon's gonna go on Thrall. Hasuabs looks like he's in a bit of a scary situation here. Doesn't have Gladiator's Medallion, is gonna get insta-stunned. I mean, this looks disastrous for 30k. That's both of their damage dealers. How are they supposed to hit this Immortal at this point? This might be a 9-minute keep going the way of Sidestep Kings.
Sidestep Kings want maybe more than the keep here. If they can find another kill and stagger out another death, that'll be big, but they know that on the side of 30k, and you can see them. They're playing it safe. They're not stepping too far forward. They're trying to play off of Vesper and Masquerade's setup. Li Ming throwing in damage. Blaze just jet propulsion. They're going to get the bunker down just in time, so no CC from the Immortal. Really, really good little plays right there, and you called it Nano Boost onto Sammy, trying to find the damages. This is just the Immortal finding the keep right there. There's going to be a sliver of health, 580 health left onto that keep in the top lane. I wouldn't be surprised if Diva maybe tries to throw a mech at it at some point, or do they maybe... Okay, no, they're just going to anchor with Cattle. No, Hyde?
BBJ.
Wait. BBJ! Oh, boy. What happens here? I don't know about this.
I mean, they don't have level 13, but Masquerade is going to walk in here, get the Godfield. I mean, that's a pretty big Earthquake for Hasu. Hasu gets an arrow right to the face, and he's going to die. BBJ trying to kite out. Masquerade going to wake them both up. Sammy needs a reset here. He's looking for it over the wall, potentially. BBJ just getting ran down. I don't think he's going to be able to survive. Godfield falling low. And it looks like Vespertine as well, going to potentially die. Oh, no, he is going to be able to kite out. Masquerade is going to fall, though, and that is going to be the keep secured for Sidestep Kings. They're looking for...
Oh, okay. No, okay. Ultralisk stepped up right there, and I was like, wait a minute. By the way, Hyde's APM, I just pulled it up really quickly during all that, almost at 1,000.
That's
I want to know, what buttons are they, like... Are they hitting their keyboard
someone
with...
said in my chat that
yeah,
it's how many buttons and mouse clicks you do per... Like, I think it's more than... I think if you, like, hold your mouse down...
That's what someone said in my chat.
High.
I glanced over, and someone was saying that in my chat as well. But still, like... I mean, that's... We're looking at what, like, so here's the thing. When I cast and I look at this every so often for funsies, like somewhere in the 450-ish range is pretty on this like high end. Right now we have Thrall with like constantly hitting around 500. So I think this is also a little bit like, yeah, Lucio may be click holding, but there's, I think, a lot of buttons still being pressed from this Lucio player, regardless. Anyways, we have our 15 to 13. Objective phase is up and available. It's defensive posturing on both sides, but the members of Sidestep Kings, they're not too far off from that 16. They could look to delay this and find that, and I think they recognize on the side of 30k, trying to step in here and make a fight happen before that can even be achieved.
Yeah, half a level for 16. Diva rotating in here. Vespertine, though, it looks like they are going to look... Oh, good Gladiator's Medallion from Cattle, stopping the Warlord's challenge. Masquerade not able to get in range to actually use it. Vespertine, though, on the Blaze, looking for something. Remember, guys, 30k wants this team fight. Cattle, though, with a really good stun. Vespertine falling low, forced to use the bunker, but out of that, he's going to be chunked. Sammy going to get nano boosted. Hanzo Arrow coming through, going to hit BBJ. Good Gladiator's Medallion. Disintegrate to get Masquerade out. Sammy needs a reset, but is he going to be able to get it? Liam's already dead. Hasuab's walking in and earthquaking. Sammy looking for something. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Hasu as well. This looks disastrous for 30K. This might be another Immortal, a 3-level lead for Sidestep Kings. Remember, they're the team that's down 2-0, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like we might be going to a game number 4, which you love to see. 30K looking to clear out top. I mean, this is going to be a scary defense for them, as it is most likely going to be pretty much a full-on, full HP Immortal. I guess they were able to get a little bit of damage, but it is going to be a very healthy Immortal. And if they are able to get a kill or two, they could potentially end the game here.
It's going to have a massive shield, and I think you called that right. They have to find a kill. Bottom lane is very well defended currently. It has the entire front gate still up. It has the keep full HP, but the big looming factor in this engagement, in this fight, is going to be 16 versus 13. They're actually going to look for the Diva Mech immediately. That's going to be a lot of damage coming out from the Cassie as they look for the ball lightning. It's going to bounce from player to player. They do have the Indomitable being used by Masquerade, as well as a bunker from Vesper. They're going to be trying to get this Garrosh out, and they're not going to be able to find the kill on the side of Sidestep Kings, but the Immortal is in lane. Belith burning down bottom lane, looking for the keep, looking to end game. Also, to note, top lane, catapults are mounting up there as there's no keep and no counter pressure from the opposing side fort being down. Can they take the game beyond the keep?
Oh, it looks like they're going to be going in, and they get the blow up onto Hanzo. Got filth, but BBJ on the Ana is trying to kite out Sammy with the Nano as well. Using the Disintegrate, getting Masquerade out. It's going to be a 4v4 at this point. BBJ, Kyocha running him down, but Lucio's going to die as well. If Sammy's able to escape, maybe they can actually defend. BBJ on pretty much 1 HP. Sammy is barely going to juke that heal coming out by BBJ. I mean, the Immortal still half HP. Hasu with the Earthquake. Masquerade able to throw him in. Sammy with another reset, but BBJ dies. There's 3 Katas on the top side. Another one coming in from the bot. They got to clear this up. Hasu running over towards the Katos. I mean, the core is going down to 90% here. I think 30K is absolutely going to be losing this game. Core falling to 50. Kyocha able to mech up, and that's going to be it. Game number 3. It's not going to be a 3-0 sweep. We're going to get a game number 4 here, as Sidestep Kings is able to, win one game here. I love that. And they did it in a commanding fashion like that. They were never behind, and it makes me wonder how game number 4 is going to go.
We went to a smaller map. We went to a more engage-heavy map as well, and it shows that Sidestep Kings, they love to brawl, they love to fight. 38,000 heroic damage from Got Filth right there. 33, I like to round up, on that Hanzo. On the opposing side, just shy of 30,000 on the Thrall, and 28,000 for the Li Ming. So this brawly team, a little bit higher in that damage realm for Sidestep Kings, but definitely effective damage in place consistently as well. Really well played, finding their footing here in game number 3. Let's see what happens if they're able to turn things around, and does the reverse sweep even potentially happen? Can it happen? Dare I say this?
Oh no, reverse sweep, PTSD. I mean, listen, even if you go up 2-2, you bring it back 2 games, let me tell you, it's not guaranteed. All right, Baja feels bad, man. Pepe sad. Pepe cry.
Hey, I call it like I see it. I'm absolutely neutral. No, I just want more games. That's all I want.
I'm not neutral. I'm not neutral.
Do we have anything on the line for this? I know there was a little bit of a bet for the crowd control versus 30K. Is there any sort of bet for this Sidestep King versus 30K?
No, there's no bet. It's
wow.
Just a good old time. Well, I think Fan was busy. So I mean, part of why we were able to do the bet is because Turk and I were both we were kind of casting it together. So we were kind of bantering, give each other a good time. But yeah, Fan wasn't able to make it, which sad. Sad he wasn't able to make it, but I don't know. It'd feel kind of weird to just be talking about the bet and not have the other person that I'm betting with being here.
But here's the best part. Now we make up all the betting rules, and when he eventually sees all this, he's like, oh well. I guess. I mean,
if 30K wins, I got 100 gifted subs. If Sidestep Kings win, I give 1 sub. It's like 100 to 1 odds. Smile. Baja, you trying to make a bet? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'll wager some gifted subs. I think
Okay. How about?
I'll wager a gifted sub per player. So let's do 5 gifted subs. I'll gift you 5 subs if 30K can turn this around and take the series. But if 5K wins, you got to donate it to FanStream or oh no, that's not. I was gonna do you have to do like a charity for me. I was like, that's not fair to those players. So it's FanStream. You got to donate 5.
We could both just do it for a charity.
Let's do that. Let's do it for charity. Let's do like $25 to you name a charity. $25. Is that? I mean, it's the same. Excuse me.
NAMI. So it's national. Here, I'll
link it to me and in our
National Alliance on Mental Health.
Let's do it. $25. Loser has to donate $25 to NAMI.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in for that.
I'm in it. Cool.
All right, done.
There we go. All right, Sidestep Kings, turn it around.
Cattle says so hungry in the chat. Wholesome streams. I actually am pretty excited, Baja. So all right, guys. I'm gonna do a quick little sellout. So I'm really close to 20,000 Twitch followers. I'm about 500 away. When I reach 20,000 Twitch followers, I will be setting up a 24-hour stream for charity. So we're actually going to be doing all of the proceeds during that 24-hour stream are going to go to NAMI, which is, again, guys, it's the national, National Alliance on Mental Health. Bipolar is something that, I currently have and runs in my family. It's something that's very, near and dear to my heart. So we're going to be doing a 24-hour stream. Hopefully we'll get the players involved. Maybe we'll get another show match. Maybe we'll convince Baja to cast again with us. I don't know. But we will be doing a 24-hour stream filled with all kinds of goodies. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, please follow the channel. I really appreciate it. I haven't done a 24-hour stream since I was a wee lad, like literally since I was like 18 or 19. So we'll see how it goes, because I don't have what I used to have. I can't just stay up all hours. Yeah, when is this, guys? So once we get 20K followers, then we will be actually scheduling it. We'll be choosing a date. So it'll probably be sometime, assuming I get it in the next month, it'll probably be sometime in December or January when we'll actually have the 24-hour stream, and hopefully we'll get a show match with it or some other things as well. So I'm pretty excited about it.
If you're in my channel, there's a multi-Twitch link. Go to Mike's channel and go give him a follow so we can do that. Can I plug my own thing too?
Yes, plug it.
So I have sub goals. I've already hit my sub goal for Falstead cosplay stream, and this is like me with a literal bodysuit and everything. So that one's coming soon. We have a November Baja Ross that we hit, and we have already done that. We have a Deckard Cain cosplay stream as well, which is like facial makeup and everything. Like I have a friend who does moulage and FX makeup, and she was like, "Yes, I'm all for that. I can easily make you look like an old man." So we have that. And then finally, the last goal, which is the current goal, if we hit 450 subs, we'll do a December Baja Ross. So if you enjoy me wearing a wig and painting, we hit those subs, we can do it. There we go. That's my plug for my channel. We can get into Volskaya Foundry for game number 4. What is your priority when it comes to Volskaya Foundry when you go to bans or draft here?
Gotcha. First off, guys, I linked the multi-Twitch in chat, so make sure to click on it. Go give Baja a follow.
Thank you.
Okay, but as Volskaya goes, Chromie, a really good hero on this map. Slowing Sands, as well as the long range potential, gives you a lot of zoning. Brightwing going to be the ban for Sidestep Kings. Gazlo, of course, a really good hero. The thing about Volskaya, this map is pretty much guaranteed to go into the late game, so picking heroes that are strong in the late game is something that we are most likely going to see teams do.
So you're saying things like Artanis with Protector of Ire, Zul'jin, Azmodan. These are all heroes that scale into the late game. You're saying those are the S tier heroes for Volskaya Foundry. Am I hearing you correct on this?
That is correct. The thing is, you got to get to the late game, so some of those heroes are not as good.
True.
But I wouldn't be surprised. Medivh going to be picked up. Haswab's one of his best heroes, and it looks like they did let it through. But last time, the Medivh game on Infernal Shrines, it was the first game. It went 24-24, and Sidestep Kings were actually leading the majority of the game. So it seems like they may have a plan, but the Junkrat is already bound out. So Junkrat, a hero that they used last time to counter the Medivh, they don't actually have that this time. And Azul in the 1-2, Azul Imperious picked up by Sidestep Kings. So both of those heroes are really good with Medivh. So this looks like a deny ban to me, and it looks like a pretty solid frontline for the waves, Sidestep Kings.
I also love that it gives them insane wave clear. There's a team, the Ghillie Sharks, I cast very often, and one of the tactics that they employ in some of these situations, obviously the draft isn't very well established at this point, but they play into, we'll just out-rotate the enemy team, we'll out-clear the enemy team, and we will play around the PvE factor. Yes, their team fight is still strong, because Zul is not like a bad hero whatsoever, but he is going to be lacking in your damage, but they're still set up with that and the Imperious, so I really, really like those. Gazlo and Diva to be grabbed on this left-hand side. Hyde. I really like that from them as well because there's a lot of setup control with the Gazlo. There's a lot of control with the Medivh. There's a lot of just zoning with the D.Va. So once again, 30K playing in what I would kind of lean into is more control comp, and we'll see if the aggression from Sidestep Kings will be enough in this game number 4 on Volskaya Foundry. Also, just a quickly note for anyone that wants to know, the first map was Infernal Shrines, chosen by Sidestep Kings. They lost that. They opted for first pick for game 2. Tomb of Spider Queen was grabbed by 30K. They won that one, and so then we went to Battlefield of Eternity, chosen by 30K. They lost that, so 30K opted for first pick priority for game number 4, meaning the map pick priority comes out from Sidestep Kings, and this is Volskaya Foundry, chosen by Sidestep Kings, for anyone wondering about that initial setup for this map and might have missed it. But next 2 picks coming out, what are you thinking here?
I mean, they need a DPS, something like a Leeming. I mean, could be all right. They do have the Medivh, but I mean, they have a lot of CC, so having Leeming to go through. Okay, it looks like they are going to go the Hanzo. I mean, Gotfilth, if he's going to be playing it, has had really big Hanzo arrows as well as pretty good, you know, damage in these games. So I definitely like that. Lucio as well. I mean, it seems like Hyde been highly prioritizing that hero, and it does seem pretty solid. I like it comboed with the Zul as well as the Imperius, because I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Lucio potentially help the Zul rotate. Right, like you can have a Zul that doesn't even have to mount up. He can just be sped from lane to lane. They can get a lot of soak. Deckard and Sylvanas, I mean, listen, on paper, 30K's comp looks pretty wild. I mean, both comps look pretty good, but I mean, Medivh, Gazlo, a lot of times those heroes are banned, and they're banned for a reason. You know, same thing with D.Va. A lot of point control going to be coming out for the Gazlo D.Va, and I just wonder if Sidestep Kings is going to have a difficult job actually killing those turrets.
I'm looking at this too. Like I said that they're, you know, they had a very similar composition on Infernal Shrines, I believe, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this composition, but it's good. Like, I think Masquerade's D.Va is actually really, really strong. So this is a solo lane Gazlo. Oh, I think we're in for a treat regardless. Like I'm trying to break this down, and I don't see a clear straight winner from this because there's a lot of outliers. Like Hazuab's Medivh, the prowess from it in the first game was really strong, and getting into the backline's huge, but then you noted the speed boost from Lucio has so much potential, and they had that Greymane last pick that we didn't really talk much about. Curse Bullet's big, but I feel like this is a go for the throat game. We're gonna try and go for some outplay mechanics, but that's just my 2 thoughts on it. Mike, who do we have on the left-hand side of our Volskaya Foundry game?
It looks like we're going to have in the blue Team 30K, Hasuab's playing Medivh, Masquerade on the D.Va, Sammy playing the Sylvanas, Vespertine on the Gazlo, and BBJ playing the old man Deckard.
On the right-hand side, we got the members of Sidestep Kings trying to take us to that game number 5. We have Hyde on the Lucio, Ultralisk on that Greymane, Kyocha on the Zul, Gotfilth on the Hanzo, and Cattle on the Imperius. We have our mid lane engagement here. You know, I know that 30K is your team, but you know, just looking at this, like teams not associated, map not associated, map associated, but like previous maps not associated. Just look at this. Who do you actually kind of lean into? Not considering, you know, Hazuab's, you know, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I actually really do think 30K's draft's better. I mean, They have Gazlo, they have Medivh, like they have D.Va. I think those are like 3 of like S tier kind of meta heroes.
I agree.
The one thing they do lack, I would say, is a bit of wave clear. But I mean, I think they're actually kind of like winning the 4-man rotate, because it looks like Zul is going to be in the bottom. Masquerade kiting out here. Oh, really good job coming out from Cattle. I mean, his Imperius was really impressive when we saw it before. Hyde doing a good job zoning the rotates. Both teams don't have necessarily Cattle here. Maybe in a bit of a scary situation. Doesn't have a team. Masquerade zoning out. BBJ hitting the pretty big root as well. And Imperius is going to be low. Going to be forced to kind of kite out Gazlo and the Zul 1v1ing in the bot lane. And that's just the hero that takes it for me. I just feel like Gazlo is so strong. What do you think? Which team do you think has the superior draft?
It's the post 10 for me that I keep considering here, and it's the Greymane. I think the Greymane dive is the big thing into that level 10, and if they go for that go for the throw, and with the 20 talent tier upgrade for the reset on it as well, this could be massive. And I think that's kind of the biggest outlier right now is the specific talents that we're going to be seeing for these heroes. And I agree, Gazlo very, very strong in their own right, and if they're able to set up their turrets, they're going to be a nuisance during this objective phase. Also, out of curiosity, I wonder if they go into hired goons to counteract the Sylvanas with her Mercenary Queen, because Hired Goons, I believe, is 50% to Sylvanas' 60% buff onto minions, mercenaries, and monsters. Or not monsters. Oh my god, just to the sorry, I started talking like it was a different ability. I was talking about it like it was Rainer's Exterminator. But either way, just the buff onto the turret camps as well as the actual siege camp into lane from both sides. I'm just curious to see if they go into that Hired Goons or if not.
I mean, they did go Merc Queen, which, I mean, they're gonna have some scary turrets on the point, Gazlo's as well as the empowered one. I mean, I just feel like 30k is gonna win the point fights, and it looks like we are gonna have a fight here around the support camp. Zool does have the rotate advantage. Gazlo coming up now. It's gonna be a 5v5. It looks like Masquerade getting on point here. Does have the mech. Could look for it. Masquerade, big damage. Cattle actually just forced his zone out. And 30k says, you know what? Thank you for killing that healing camp for us. We really appreciate it. We'll take that. Thank you very much.
And I misspoke there. Sorry, I was just looking at it. I had it completely backwards. But anyways, that was actually a really good mecha explosion to zone them away. I saw the Celestial charge in that, and I actually thought Cattle would get away with it, but it's not going to be the case, and it also will be the case of having a pause. So, looks like one of them might be getting their pizza order finally, because one of them was saying that they were hungry in between, so maybe they, maybe they
ordered a pizza real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how quickly it is.
Respect.
Yeah. Because, like, Cattle's in that greater LA area, so you get deliveries and stuff in, like, 30 seconds, right? I live in the mountains, so I don't know. Like, I order things off of Amazon, and it's, like, 4-day delivery still.
Yeah. Wait, it's 4 days?
No,
honestly,
no.
I live that 1-day delivery life. It's kind of crazy to me. Like, yeah, I had this thought the other day. Like, Amazon really changed the world in a lot of ways. Do you remember when packages used to take like 2 or 3 weeks to come?
I remember I'd order a band t-shirt and be like, cool, I'll see it next month.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like Amazon Prime, they like said overnight shipping, and it kind of like forced everyone to accommodate that or get to that. And it's like, it's kind of crazy. You can just order something and it'll be there the next day. Like, I bought my Halloween costume yesterday, and it just showed up. I
ordered my Halloween stuff because I actually thought of the costume idea literally Monday night when I was talking with some friends. So yeah, and then I ordered it like yesterday morning, and it will be here on Friday. So there's that convenience factor and everything, but we are back into game. We have our control point A opened up and available, level 7, rounding in for both sides fairly soon, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually look to just play for that. And actually, Cattle already on the point, but also to note, we are going to be having both of the siege camps grabbed on left and right for some pressure into that top lane. I'm mostly obsessed with this point, though, because this is where the fight and the fun really starts to break out.
Yeah, it looks like both teams kind of posturing around the objective here. I mean, Zool most likely will have the rotate since she does have better wave clear from the Gazlo. Greymane, Ultralisk going to be rotating towards the top side, looking to secure 7 as well as get that advantage. Asuwabs looking to maybe zone out the Zool a bit here, but I mean, someone from 30k. Okay, it looks like Sammy is going to rotate towards the top side. We might have a 4v5 here once Greymane does come down. Masquerade falling low. Gazlo as well is going to get speared, but good protect coming out from Hasselwabs and Cattle. Foresees the Gladiator's Medallion, walking backwards on the, little thing of death. Doesn't like that. Healing camp going to come down. Masquerade going to get another heal. His mech's still alive somehow, but both teams kind of posturing. But during all of this, 30k is going to be getting percentages, and it looks like Sidestep Kings is just going to back off a bit.
Gyocha coming in here, finds the route onto Masquerade. They're just trying to burn through that mech, but the biotic emitter in the last engagement was just giving enough health over to them. Hazuabs will be hit by that vision from the Sonic Arrow. Vesper gonna get very low, and they find the mech and the kill into Gazlo. Gaining control of control point A once again, 25% and rising for the side of Sidestep Kings, as this is Got Filth. Very low on mana, but they're gonna invade onto this camp, looking to steal away the fortification camp from the opposing side. Just a threat of the portal, but actually Diva comes through. They're looking to grab this away, and Masquerade comes through and grabs the fortification camp.
But Sammy, during all of this, really low in the backline, actually was looking for a kill. Gotfilth trying to find the Sylvanas. Sammy, is he going to be able to get out here? I don't know if he will. Gotfilth has got him in his sights, and Sammy trying to run away. Okay, he is going to die. That's a staggered death. That's like a really staggered death. That's actually pretty bad, as it is going to be a 4v5 here. And Sidestep Kings, I mean, they look like they're in a pretty good spot. They're up a full level. Zool's clearing top side. They're probably going to get this objective. They may actually take this to a game 5. Cattle said he's hungry, so who knows? Maybe he'll throw so he can eat some food. But this might be the reverse sweep coming for Sidestep Kings.
Have we ever considered that he was hungry for more games in the end, and it wasn't actually for food, as Masquerade gets out of the mech just in time. Mecha Explosion sends them back. They recall that down. They're going to boost back in. Also to note, we do have BBJ going into the Emerald at level 4. That's why you're seeing those extra little potions on the ground, and it is one of the most broken healing talents that I think is in the game. You get so much healing from those little pots, especially the amount of them that do come out as well, as they don't get the root onto the ground into any of them. They're going to re-engage onto this. A lot is happening. There's going to be turret camps all across the ground. They do get rid of that blue side, and Hyde is getting low here. They're gonna bop around. Same with Masquerade. So many low health bars, but no one actually going down just yet, as the 10 talent tier is on the horizon for the members of Sidestep Kings, and I think they respect that. They back off, and no, unfortunately, there's no go for the throat. It's gonna be a Curse Bullet Greymane.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to know, I think Sidestep Kings did an excellent job in that team fight. There were 2 turrets placed down by 30k, and they both were basically instantly killed. So really, really good awareness by them, as well as target focus. Like, killing those turrets, especially because they are empowered by the Sylvanas, is going to be so important for them. Swabs is going to complete his Arcane Rift, a pretty big DPS spike for the Medivh. Level 10 about to be achieved for 30k as well. First bullet, as well as Poison Nova, as you were saying. I mean, Poison Nova pretty big as well. A lot of AoE damage. And it looks like we're going to see a lot of standard ults. I'll be curious to see, okay, Graph Bomb. Graph Bomb is going to be the choice. Graph Bomb, Ley Line. We could see some big, you know, wombo combos as this game goes on. And it looks like they're trying to get the well, and they are going to be able to secure it. So the reason you always see the Protector go top, guys, is if you get this well, it makes the next Protector and objective much easier to take. So good job coming out by Sidestep Kings. A really good rotation from them, able to secure the well.
Lane sustain is a big factor in Heroes of the Storm, and not enough people talk about it. So getting rid of that well, as you were saying, gets rid of the protection they have during the brawling of Control Point B. They got to rotate all the way to the mid lane or all the way back to their keep to get any sort of big buff and healing. Same can be said about Dragonshire. That's when we often see things like Genji's, you know, sniping that top lane well from the far side of the lane, so that way the 1v1 in that top lane is just so much more detrimental to said solo laner. They're going to get a root onto Kyocha. There's a stay well and listen. Ultralisk and friends are going to be almost pulled in by the Gravel Bomb. A lot's being thrown in the wake of their disengage, and they're not going to be able to find anything on the side of 30k. This is still going to be about a level lead in favor for Sidestep Kings, as they're itching and hungry for a game number 5.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the turret may have actually woken them up before they were able to get the Gravel Bomb follow-up off of sleep. I mean, that's one thing to note. You have sleep, you also have lane line. We have a lot of ways to get a big Gravel Bomb here, so that's something, you know, I think that Sidestep Kings needs to be a bit careful of. Oh, Cattle. Wait, what's stopped? Wait, what's stopped?
Sidewall, sidewall. Okay. It was the way that they Celestial Charge, they have the sidewall in there as well, the terrain. I think that's what caused it. It's like, you know when you get pulled in by a Valkyrie and it kind of like runs you along the wall, but you don't get pulled in? I think it's very much like that. At least that was the interaction. I was highlighting the Arcane Rift really quickly for chat. So permanently increase the damage dealt by 75 and cooldown reduction for hitting a hero by 1 second, that's the big thing too, is that cooldown reduction. As Cattle's being chased right now, they're going to take a lot of damage. Bop from the mech will be keeping them in this engagement. Gravel Bomb mostly zones. They still have 13 talent here, and they're looking to pressure into this fortification camp, into the support camp, but they're just not able to get in here quick enough for this Biotic Emitter, I do think.
Yeah, Greymane's rotating bottom. They're not fighting this.
Okay,
they're just being annoying. They're just being a nuisance. I mean, well, that was a 13 advantage though, and they were able to secure a heal camp as well as a kill for 30k. Well, they're down level 13, so I mean that goes pretty good for them. Definitely feel like Sidestep Kings is out macroing 30k, but that's kind of the nature of having Greymane, Zool. Like, they have a lot more wave clear, a lot more push. And this game is going to be pretty much guaranteed to go late, right? Like, we're probably going to get a level 20 team fight, and I think that's where we'll really see 30k shine. Like, once they get, you know, a ley line or a sleep into a Grav Bomb, it is going to be a big or a scary. And it looks like the 3 heroes in the mid lane for 30k are just going to kind of be posturing, and Liam in the bot side going to be looking to push out the lane.
For anyone wondering on quests and talents, we do have the baseline for the Medivh already done, and the level 1 for Hanzo done as well. That's the only quest and talents we have currently. If you're listening or you haven't had a chance to look at those in the bottom of the screen. BBJ and Sammy to grab the camp on the left. We have Hyde and Ultralisk doing that on the right-hand side. So Control Point B opening up here, 14's up, and this is 16 nearing closer for the side of Sidestep Kings, as it was 14 for a second. And this is what I was wondering, does Kyocha do what Kyocha does best, which is just AFK split push a lane, find the talent tier advantage, and then maybe they'll go for the objective? We'll have to see here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Ultralisk and Cattle rotating down to the bot lane as well. I like this rotation. I like this call. Just, you know, recognizing getting the fort, getting level 16 should be the priority. Kyocha, though, falling super low. And it looks like Sylvanas as well as Medivh are going to be rotating in. Ultralisk needs to be a bit careful here. Asu may look for a ley line. Okay, he is just going to walk out. But on the top side, Masquerade on the D.Va, okay, he is going to have 3 healing pots. Does have a Q. Okay, he is going to be able to kite out and, you know, walk away with his life.
We also do have Ancient Blessings from that Decker Kane, so keep that in mind when we get into these team fights, because you see that get popped, and it's just everybody dives in for the autos. But Hazuab's floating around, following Kyocha, setting up a portal for Sammy, and I think Sammy sees this. I think they might have seen Gazlo real quick right there, and they were like, all right, nope, now I'm going to take a very, very safe rotation, and they're going to be able to hit 16 talent tier with this. Gazlo rotating to top lane, objective phase, back over to the side of Sidestep Kings, but 25% and rising. They got a ways to go on that one, as Hyde just gets a little bit of damage applied to them, amps it up a little bit, and continues to harass onto Masquerade.
Yeah, and it looks like Kyocha in the bot lane was pushing out another lane aggro, gonna look to stall the rotate of the Gazlo. I like this from Kyocha. I like him, you know, stalling out the Gazlo rotate. On the top side, though, it looks like both teams just kind of posturing. Level 16 has now been achieved, so it is going to be a 4v4 on the top side. Kyocha does have rotate advantage, so they could look for a 5v4 as, you know, Masquerade most likely going to be forced. He got demeched here. This is a bit scary for 30k. They may just have to give it up as they don't have anyone to stand on point, and they know that Zul is going to be rotating again. It looks like Hasu may fall down on, okay, no, they are just going to give the objective. I like that decision. I like that decision from them. The Volskaya Protector really doesn't do that much, which is why you'll see the teams just give it up. I mean, they're guaranteeing the scale, gonna look to hit level 20. They're gonna lose mid fort as well as probably bot fort, but, you know, outside of that, probably not gonna lose anything else, as the Protector is gonna go onto mid.
Curse Bolt went out onto Masquerade, didn't connect. They find the root from Zul as well. Hazuab's over here, gonna have some support in for their D.Va player. Kyocha getting low, sustained damage from D.Va's a little bit much. Portal forward, but they don't take it, and Kyocha's out of there. Meanwhile, with all the chase happening, they're able to do exactly what you're saying. They're gonna take a mid lane fort, they take a bottom lane fort. Oh, it's got just, there we go. Pop, it's gonna go down right there, and this will just be protected, probably backed off. I don't think, I mean, realistically, maybe you just take a very long safe rotation to top lane, but you still have only 30-some seconds, so you won't get much siege value out of this. This is Imperius and Hanzo inside of this, and I think what they're trying to do is whittle them down, get them low, and when the Protector drops, they're gonna try and make the fight happen. Can it actually take place that way?
Oh, BBJ in a bit of a scary situation. Is he gonna be able to get to the portal?
Wow.
The ley line. The mech follow-up as well. Gazlo not in a position, though, was forced to back as the Vesper team was low. But yeah, they got the mid fort, they got the bot fort, they're about to level up. Both teams are most likely going to be able to hit level 20. Hasu with the huge ley line saving BBJ's life and stopping that from going worse.
That... I want to know, I really wish we could be in comms at that moment, because I want to know what BBJ or Hazu are saying in those moments. Like, I'm dead, I got you! Like, I don't know, it'd be interesting. But 17 to 18 in our levels, we are going to be seeing Control Point C announced roughly, I think somewhere in the 15-minute mark of the game, if my math is kind of adding up right there, maybe 15 and a half. Regardless, they're going to go for this support camp, and there's a portal forward. Are they going to be able to get there in time? Doesn't, oh wow, the ley line seal! But they don't pick up the item! They didn't pick up the item! No one's picked up the item still! And they actually pick him up and put him down immediately. Hanzo rips an arrow, it's actually gonna miss Sammy! Woo!
Yeah, Sammy with a bit of a sidestep, but the fight's still going on. Gray main zoned as well as the Sylvanas Hyde walking out. Kyocha looks like he might be the one to fall as BBJ is looking to chase him down. The Poison Nova, though, a lot of return damage. Masquerade really wants this kill. He's looking for it. He's maybe diving a bit deep. He's trying to get it, and he is going to lose his mech there. Masquerade trying to kite out. Got Filth as well. There's a lot of turrets down here. Hyde walking in. Cattle potentially looking for it. Just using the Gladiator's medallion, but he is going to miss. Masquerade fighting, and both teams, a lot of medallions used. I mean, if you look in the top right, all 5 medallions lose 4 Sidestep Kings within the last 50 seconds, and 4 medallions go the way of 30k. So this level 20 team fight might, you know, that might play a factor. If they get a big ley line again, like that last one, they could set up, you know, a huge grab bomb.
This is, and it's also, we're going to be looking at probably Medivh cheats. Also to note, for anyone that doesn't know, we have Temporal Flux for that Medivh at level 16. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's probably one of the best talents to take for Medivh, especially if you want to rapid fire these leyline seals out. Basic attacks reduce Medivh's heroic ability cooldown by 3%. Each enemy hero hit by an Arcane Rift reduces Medivh's heroic ability cooldown by 9%. I don't know the caster math off of the Leyline Seal, but it's 9% off of 80 seconds right there as the Leyline Seal sets up too. They're looking for the Gravel Bomb, but they're going to be delayed a little bit here, and they don't go for it. BBJ low by Cattle, has to pop the Angelic Armament, turns around. There's going to be a stay while and listen. Interrupted will be on a 10-second cooldown. The Hanzo's going to rip an arrow into the back lane, doesn't find any follow-up damage, and they'll disengage with a lot of buttons pressed and no kills in tow.
A level 20 achieved for Sidestep Kings. 30k needs to be big careful here. They don't really want to fight without their level 20. They're also split as Sammy is forced to clear the mid lane. Oh, Masquerade though walking in here. Top fort most likely going to fall as it looks like Sidestep Kings does want to pressure that. I'd like to see, you know, maybe potentially 30k go for their fort here. Okay, it looks like they are just going to step back up here. Hospital up says leyline in 5 seconds. They may just look for a wombo combo here. Masquerade. Oh, the Imperious, the Celestial Charge is actually going to miss. Masquerade looking to cut out here. Level 20 on the Greymane. Splash auto attack is going to be doing a lot of damage. The objective has spawned. Curse Bullet coming out onto Liam. Leyline is going to miss. Hasselhoff's in a bit of a scary situation here. Forced to use the Protect. Grab Bomb, not going to actually do anything. BBJ with the 3-man sleep, though. Are they going to be able to get any kills here? Cattle falling low. Does not have armaments for another 4 seconds. Masquerade losing his mech. And level 20 still not achieved for 30k. They don't care, though. They're just trying to brawl. They're trying to have some fun here.
A lot was pulled from them as well. There's a Wailing Arrow that's down. Leyline Seal, Gravel Bomb, stay a while and listen while they're holding on to Poison Nova, Angelic Armament, Curse Bullet, Arrow. They did use their own sound barrier. It wasn't 100% necessary, but definitely kept Ultralisk from losing too much health as they move into bottom lane for the next objective phase here. And for 20 talent tier, I'm just skimming through to look for anything that stands out. And the big thing, Bullseye, once again, from our Hanzo. They utilized it fairly well in the last game, and now they can see that the camps are being grabbed on the opposing side, looking to push out the waves, looking just to manage things a little bit as Kyocha going to be able to do that in top lane. We have our fortification camp grabbed on the right and bottom. Control point C, 20%, but held on the side of Sidestep Kings. Can they get back onto this point? They've given positional advantage over to the opposing side. Oh, wait, that's a portal forward, but they don't make a play off of it.
Yeah, one thing I also want to know, Mortal Wounds on Zool. So 75% less healing. That could be really a good way to counter the level 4 Ruby. And Greymane and Zool are just split pushing. They're split pushing mid. They recognize, hey, you got to come respond to us. So they are just going to be looking to get this whole mid wall. I like this rotation. Cattle, known for his macro play. I'll be curious to see if he was one they called this. Medivh Cheats is up. Kyocha is going to be able to get hit here. Are they going to be able to get Hanzo Arrow?
There's going to be a Bullseye, just the sustained CC onto BBJ is so impressive as Hyde dives out. There's so much damage. The Angelic Armament's going to be mitigated by the Protect from the Medivh, but Greymane still gets the Gilnean cocktail through, and they find the kill into BBJ. They're happy with a 60-second death timer. They see D.Va on this bottom point. They know that they're going to be going for the Triglop Protector, and it's actually going to drop in their favor. Can you believe it?
Oh man, Masquerade with a really smart heads up play, just staying on the point. And even though they got BBJ, even though they killed him, they're not actually going to be able to get much off of it. Really good job, Masquerade, looking to kite out here. He is going to be able to juke. Cheeky D.Va plays coming out by Masquerade. I mean, a really heads up, smart play from him. But Mortal Wounds, the Q talent that's negative 75% is actually part of what allowed them to kill BBJ. He threw like 2 or 3 potions on himself and it didn't do anything, right? 25% healing of a potion is like 100 or maybe 200 HP, and the Poison Nova was able to tick him to death.
Don't forget, you also have Echoes of Death, which is that level 13 talent, which is going to summon more scythes. So more scythes, more cooldown, or excuse me, more healing reduction as Kyocha's going to be able to walk out of there. They do pop their shade. Masquerade's going to lose their mech. The Hanzo Arrow disconnect into them. Hanzo is going to be very low. They go down right there. The Gravel Bomb pulls Cattle back in, but that actually gave them positional advantage in this fight, and they are looking to step into this. Kyocha does get the sound barrier from Hyde. Stay well and listen, catches the toe of Greymane. Silence onto Kyocha. Sammy being chased by Hyde. They lose the D.Va on the left, and Sammy gets through the wall. Hyde, though, hungry for the kill. They drop the turret. They see where D.Va went, but they're on the far side of the wall. Meanwhile, they step through bottom lane, and they are going for core here. Is this Cattle? Step
like GG, right?
Sylvanas and Deckard for a defense. This is going to be a very hard defense. The core is going to do its best, but it's looking like we're going to a game number 5 in our best of 5 show match. GG's.
GG's. I mean, Sidestep Kings bringing it back. Lost the first 2 games, but here we go. Game 5 has been achieved, guys. Remember, Sidestep King Hyde is playing over June. June is delivering puppies. to all the people in the Los Angeles area that would like and need a puppy. We're not actually sure what he's doing, but he had prior commitments, so they decided to play with Hyde for this show match. But game number 5, I mean, Sidestep Kings, very commanding win there. I feel like Gotfilth on the Hanzo played really, really well in the last couple of games. At the end, we see he's got 84,000 hero damage to the next closest, which is D.Va, actually, with 63,000. I think his Hanzo arrows were just really, really good in the last 2 games, and that's something that people might need to watch out for, as well as he's had some good bullseyes to secure kills at the end of games.
Just saying. Sidestep Kings, they're putting on a show for everyone at home right now. The big question, I think, is going to be what map we go to for our final game. Like, do we go for something fast-paced? Do we go for something even slower? What's the game plan?
You know
here?
what it is. You know what it is.
I swear to
you
God.
Know what it is.
I swear to God, if it's Garden of Terror, I'm gonna be happy.
No. It's not Garden. The lobby's actually up, but don't join. Don't
okay.
join.
I won't show it on stream or anything. I think I know what it is, though.
What's like the traditional game 5 map that we always see?
Oh, it's towers, always.
Oh, well, you know what? Join the lobby and get a little peek. It's Towers of Doom, game 5. The number of maps, or the number of times we've seen this map in a game 5 situation, and it just goes down to like one shot to one shot, like one cap to one cap. Like, it's crazy. I mean, these players instantly joining the lobby as well. No one wants a break. Everyone's just trying to, get some games in. I mean, do you feel like 30K might be a bit tilted? I mean, they lost 2 games in a row. They were up 2-0, lost 2 more. Like, is this a situation where potentially, nerves and maybe, being a bit upset of losing the Icebreaker tournament could factor in?
I think so. I mean, Here's the Storm is absolutely, as much as it is a mechanical game, it is very much a mental game too. I'm just gonna let them know that the casters are ready, as I don't spell that correct, and I'm just gonna give them Spooky Worm. But either way, yeah, I think there's definitely a factor of tilt here, but this is a map where you can slow things down. This is a map where you can't just rush core and end the game by getting a massive kill streak or anything like that. You gotta play the map itself. And here I pushed the wrong button completely on my stream deck, so sorry about that. But either way, I was like, why did the alerts just stop all of a sudden? It's like, oh yeah, I accidentally threw us to casted mode. But no, tilt is a big factor, but Towers of Doom I think is a slower map. For anyone wondering, this is going to be the map pick of Sidestep Kings. The losing side, which was 30K, opted for first pick priority. So for anyone wondering what our maps were this evening so far, we've had Infernal Shrines, Tomb of Spider Queen, Battlefleet of Eternity, Volskaya Foundry, and we head to Towers of Doom for game number 5. The quintessential best of anything game ender here. And so, the tilt. Is it enough for Sidestep Kings to win the series, or will 30K calm down and be able to take Towers of Doom here?
I mean, I'll be curious to see if we see the draft priority kind of swap up, right? Like, they've gotten the Medivh, they've gotten the Gazlo a couple of times, and, it seems like it hasn't been doing that well, so I'll be curious to see what they go for. They do ban the Chromie again. I mean, Sidestep Kings hasn't really prioritized Gazlo when it's been up, so maybe that's something that 30K doesn't have to worry about. And maybe they go for. I would assume it's going to be a Brightwing Cassia ban again for Sidestep Kings, right? Like, it worked for them last game. My question is more of, if the Medivh is up first pick, is Hasselhoff's going to play that again, or are they going to try and get something new?
There's also an argument to be made of Lost Vikings. This is the map to bring them to and to give them a shot on, and we haven't seen any. Hazu has Vikings, don't they? Hazu has it in their.
Hazu is like best Vikings player world. What do you? That, I mean, they might be saving those strats for the season. I don't know if they want to expose that and let everyone know or remind people. But
I just want to see Vikings. Like, I just want to see them. I honest to God rarely get to cast a Vikings game because it's such a niche hero and you have to be really good on it to showcase it well. But this is the Cassia ban, as you were mentioning beforehand. We think yes, there's going to be that. So it's some respect bans here. Obviously respect towards the Chromie, but this is going to be Hazuab's actually banning out their own Medivh. They just don't want to give it over. But first pick priority, D.Va's up and available if they want to go for that. Seems to be a highly contested hero. I'm trying to think, what else would they want immediately here? Maybe Urel for Vesper? Well, you could actually Urel here for Vesper very early, but then D.Va's considered a counter into them. We'll see.
Oh. There it is.
Vesper's literally said in an interview during exhibition weekend that they consider D.Va a counter into Urel. and that basically when Yrel goes to do Avenging Wrath to stomp on the wave, you basically bop her with the D.Va boost, and that will stop her from doing the jump animation to get that jump onto the actual wave itself. So not going to be the priority though. They're still going to go for a Junkrat, and they're going to grab a Stukov for Hyde, which we saw fairly strong beforehand. And you were mentioning in the Korean tournament you casted this past weekend that the Stukov was first pick, first ban material, essentially?
Yeah, it was. I mean, pretty much most teams are first picking either Stukov or Anna, and generally one of them would be banned and they'd pick the other. So, I mean, Stukov as well as Junkrat are really strong 1-2 rotation. The thing about Stukov is he really enables...
Samuro? Do we have is Sammy a Samuro player?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Liam's a Samuro player.
I've actually never seen Liam play Samuro in all of the time. In all the time I've ever casted Liam, I've never seen them play it. It's like Malthael, Yrel. I feel like I never see them play Samuro. I might be wrong in that. Like, it might be something that other people see in Storm League, but I just never see it in their competitive matches. That's definitely a possibility. But they're gonna get rid of the Tracer. They don't want to deal with Tracer, Abathur, and I get that. Absolutely.
I mean, they still have the option of, you know, a Li Ming, a Greymane,
a
Zeratul, yeah, a Genji. I mean, a lot of really solid heroes still up. Lucio as well as Abba. I mean, I like this, guys. One thing you also need to know is that both these teams don't really have a lot of strats hidden, right? Like my team, at least, we played the Icebreaker tournament. We've done like 2 scrims, or like 2 scrims plus a show match. So a lot of the teams are still getting a feel for each other. So I don't know how many Abathur games my team has even played, but I mean, this is definitely something that all these teams are trying to get that synergy. So personally for me, like, I like seeing them try different compositions, because, you know, this show match is important, but the season is important, right? Like, I really want to see the team do well in the season. I'm sure Sidestep Kings and both of these teams have kind of that same mentality going into this, is like, okay, we care about this show match, we want to do well, but at the end of the day, our main objective is going to be how well can we do during the season. And a Nubrak D.Va are going to be the picks. Sorry, I mean, I went on a bit of a rant.
No, you're fine. That's okay. That's, I mean, we're here to hang out and cast the game. We're not professionals. We're here just to have a good time. But you make a good point, and there's a lot that you do want to show and you don't want to show in scrims. And there's that towing the line, because I'm sure you experienced that in your heyday of the HEC. Like, in scrims, I'm sure there are things you wanted to test, but you didn't want the enemy team to know.
Yep.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I do want to also point out the only other thing to note here also is, we talked about all these things that synergize into Abathur that they could draft, and they grab a Sylvanas Muradin. We didn't talk about the fact that they already have a Lucio, which Lucio plus Abathur hat is actually quite annoying for the backline. Like, a really good Lucio player can just harass, and an Abathur hat adds more damage and sustained damage to that. So we'll see if it works out for them. This last pick, Sergeant Hammer, is I wouldn't say like it's a strong pick for Towers of Doom, for the sieging, for the poke potential. But now when we look at the entire composition, we have Junkrat, Displacement. We have a Nubrak for Chain CC with the Burrow plus the Impale. You have D.Va with the little boop. You have Lurking Arm from Stukov. You have Flailing Swiper, Massive Shove later on at level 10. So there's a lot of control around this hammer, and I'm expecting them to play very heavily into that. But Mr. 30K, we are here in game number 5. Are you ready to see who takes this one?
I am very ready. Come on, boys. Give them the CC treatment. Stop the reverse sweep in its tracks. We've got, you know, in the blue, Hasuops. I got so excited about that. Hasuops on the Abathur, Masquerade playing Buridan, BVJ had the Lucio, Sabiel the Sylvanas, and Liam playing the Yrel. Who's on the other side, Baja?
We got Sidestep Kings, who are also up 2 in our best of 5 show match. We've got Gotfilth on the Junkrat, Kyocha on the D.Va, Hyde will be on the Stukov, Cattle on that Anubrak, and all the way in the bottom lane on the Sergeant Hammer, we have got Ultralisk, who is immediately saying, I don't really care about the first mid lane engagement. I just want to go ahead, siege up, and start smacking some towers with my artillery. They did go advanced artillery at level 1, which is going to increase the splash damage to 50% and increase the splash radius by 25.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to know, Ultralisk actually... Okay, he's going to be okay here. But, I mean, Mura's kind of the hyper carry this guy, guys. Mura and Yrel are... You go? Wait, what? Did I miss it? What happened?
Did you look at Muradin's level 1? How aggressive that is?
Ooh, I mean, I like that.
I love it. And I think he's going to do exactly what he just did. He's going to be leaping into this, into Ultralisk, consistently Masquerade with a very interesting adaptation at level 1. I love this. I love this a lot, actually.
Yeah, I mean, 75% reduction from auto attacks, a lot of value there. Pumpkins are going to be spawning for both teams here. Masquerade kind of posturing. Urel as well is going to be around. Sammy doing their camp. Masquerade posturing in here, being a bit annoying, just looking to pressure. Diva is going to be rotating towards mid. Haswab's in the top side, going to be catching the lane. And it looks like both teams are going to be evening up the Pumpkins here. I like this rotate from Urel though. Maska is going to get booped, but should be okay here as he still has the jump, I believe.
I think they actually already used it. No, it was okay. Used up. They got an Abathur hat, which mitigated some burst with the initial shielding. Really quick play from Hazuabs, because actually Hazuabs was on the far side of the gate right as that engagement happened, so they got behind the gate so they wouldn't get potentially picked off by the Diva rotation, and they're able to save their player. No kills just yet on our final game of Towers of Doom, and it's nearing 4 talents here on both sides. First objective will be announced at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and it will be contestable at 3 minutes into the game. Going to be our standard top, left, and right, and the third one is going to be in the mid position on the map. That's the only randomization here for our first objective. It can either be in the mid position or the bottom position, but Vesper coming in with the flank. Can they make a play happen?
The Pumpkins were able to walk in and actually get a tower as well as the wall. Liam going to be rotating towards mid here. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a really rough early game for the Abathur team, right? For 30k, BBJ going to get double stunned here. Should be able to just walk out though. But generally, Abathur, a hero that scales really strong into the late game, needs level 10 as well as, you know, level 13, 16 are big power spikes. And yeah, I just feel like this hammer is going to be so difficult to deal with for 30k. Wouldn't be surprised if they end up losing 2 of the altar phases here. Masquerade doing a good job zoning rotates. Could potentially look for, you know, a pick on this Junkrat in the mid lane. I'd like to see that. I mean, I'd like to see them play away from the hammer for a bit, maybe look for kill. Once they get that, you know, then you can kind of collapse on the hammer.
So there's a tactic I've seen some teams go into here and there, and you're saying, you know, giving things over. What teams will do is they feign that they're going to try and actually go for this bottom, or the third objective, as I call it. And what they end up doing is they delay out the right-hand side with their solo lane, which unfortunately they're not able to do. I saw Diva got the channel into that. But what they end up doing is they essentially give over the bottom one, and then they rotate to the right-hand side, get a pick on the solo laner, and find the double channel on the left and the right-hand side. That's not the case here, as they attempted that, but it was a too late of a rotation. Concussion Mind's going to split Murden away. Ultralisk low, but gets the concussive blast backwards, knocking Masquerade back from potentially invading, as that is an impale from Cattle to stall out BBJ for now. Chattering Teeth chasing BBJ around as they're going to take the long rotation onto this. Hyde going for the channel, and it seems like 30k is zoned away for now, as one more interrupt came out from the Sylvanas.
Yeah, during all of that though, Abba is going to be able to get some soak. I mean, 30k was down a bit as they have lost a tower in the bot lane as well as a tower in the top lane. And they are able to even up the soak there, as Hasselwabs on the Abathur was soaking during all of that. Really good job coming out by them, just stalling it out, right? They want to hit level 20 here. BBJ is going to hit by a trap as well as the Anubrak stun. I really like, okay, one thing to note, guys, Liam on this Urel has rotated down every single time to do the siege camp for his team. He doesn't want his team to get invaded, and I like this. I like that he's making this rotates, because if Sidestep Kings get a double pumpkin, it could be a really scary situation. If they lose this bot fort, they want to delay losing this bot fort as long as they can, as they do have the mule now, right? BBJ though,
Ooh, yeah, no. You said BBJ, how my brain was thinking about it, like, oh boy, you are in a bit of a rough spot, but they're going to be fine for now. That's going to be Murden Dwarf tossing in, looking for some engage, but they only meet Cattle and Hyde, who's just going to be dealing damage into them. They actually need to back off as BBJ is going to amp it up. That's going to be a burrow charge from the Anubrak, but not going to be able to set anything up. There's a little bit of that weighted pustule onto Sammy for some slows, but this is hover siege mode from Ultralisk, and they're slowly applying the damage into Masquerade, who gets the concussion mine and the dwarf toss, and they're fine for now.
Yeah, but they were able to actually kill all 3 pumpkin sappers for the team. I mean, that's, even though they traded a lot of HP. Maska though, Maska is gonna get double stun. This Dukov silence as well. Doing a good job, and this should basically allow Ultralisk as well as Gotfilth to just throw a lot of damage into this fort. But Liam on the Urel is gonna be rotating in and finding a minefield, taking a decent amount of damage here. Looks like burrow charge is gonna miss. Ultralisk on the hammer is gonna use the unstoppable. They are just cutting out here. Unstoppable is going to be forced. Oh, BBJ slides.
Whoa! Oh, okay. What? What is that? Wanted? You know, the movie with Angelina Jolie? Did Gotfilth just wanted one of the auto attacks around the corner? I know that auto attacks are missiles and they follow, but it was just slightly curving after BBJ, and I'm sure he was sitting there just like, no, please. But regardless, we are going to be seeing level 10 achieved first for the side of Sidestep Kings, as they are also going to be able to get the channel onto the altar, dealing 4 more shots into the enemy side, 28 to 36, as Ultralisk and friends continue to barrage this bottom lane, or berate this bottom lane with the siege that they've applied with Sergeant Hammer. Going well for them. Can they turn it around for 30k?
Yeah, I mean, they are going to lose the fort, which does hurt, but they have achieved level 10. That means they are going to have Ultimate Evo. They have Welling Arrow, Avatar, Sound Barrier. BBJ going to be kiting here. Burrow Charge going to miss. Ultimate Evo is potentially going to be coming out here. BBJ trying to kite, still has a Sound Barrier. Eva does not have a mech. I mean, they could potentially look for a fight here, maybe look for a pick onto Kyocha as well. No Pumpkins backers spawning for another 5 seconds. It looks like 30k is just going to be rotating towards the top side of the map as Ultralisk. You know, they're pretty much just giving up bot. They've kind of recognized they can't really do anything there. Hammer still on the bot side. Kyocha is going to get stunned by Masquerade, falling a bit low here. BBJ needs to be careful of those traps as he has gotten hit by 1 or 2. And if he gets hit by a trap, it's pretty much a death sentence, assuming a Nubrak is around in time to stun.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the copy pasta of Towers of Doom because we always have to bring this up. This is not a feasible trade in my opinion, and I think that what they're going to try and do is pressure top lane to force them to respond. But realistically, holding bottom lane is the best lane to hold, and we actually had an altar spawning, which is a perfect example of this. For the members of 30k, the only way for them to rotate into this safely is through the center of the map and from mid lane or through their sapper camp on the left-hand side where they're currently positioned. It's a very telegraphed rotation, so that means that Sidestep Kings know where they're coming from, know kind of the setup for the enemy team, and that just it's a lot easier for them. Also, the chase potential over the subjective phase is massive as a massive shove goes on to Murden, but the tower is aggroed onto minions. They haven't hit a hero, so it's not going to be prioritizing them. Now, they're forcing them under this tower, and this is a little bit of an awkward moment. This is going to be the Rip Tower coming out from the Junkrat. They're going to find a little bit of damage right there, but they still have the lockdown from Sammy onto the fort, and they managed to get it turned around. No channel happened yet here, and they might find a kill, but the massive shove saves Murden. Ardent Defender use. Hazuab's coming in here with the clone of Sylvanas, and now that clone, to be killed out, they're going to back off, go for the channel, and I think this is actually really, really well played by 30k. Regardless of them losing the shots, I think they played this really smart.
Yeah, I mean, they're happy with that. Like, giving up 1 cap for the bottom fort is big. And now they have level 7 Mule for the Abathur, which means next time Sidestep Kings basically walk in those pumpkins, they should, ideally, if they're able to defend it, hold it up. I think 30k is actually really happy with the state of the game. Yes, they're down 12 shots, but they're even in experience, and their comp, I think, scales better. Once they hit level 13, 16, 20, they're going to have these big power spikes. Liam in the backline is going to be rotating in here. Junkrat, though, just has really good trap setup coming out by Gottfeld. Unstoppable use Boop as well. Vespertine falling low. Sound Barrier going to be used. Wow, I mean, Liam just taking so much damage there. The BFG did not actually connect as well. And Diva, Kyocha rotating down, maybe looking for Vespertine in the rotate, looking to do some damage. And it looks like 30k wants to walk away from this bottom fort.
What an insane back and forth engagement, but now Sidestep Kings, the waves are kind of like the dust is settled a little bit. They're like, cool, I'm gonna go back and start sieging again. So Ultralisk with this hover siege mode is gonna be stepping in. I was quickly looking at the APM, and like Ultralisk has the highest APM on a Sergeant Hammer, which is probably them just like mash clicking like move faster, you tank. But 13 to 14 in our levels, 0 to 2 in kills. Next altar phase will be in the mid and bottom portion of the map. We actually just got the announcement for that, so 28 seconds on that. Web rep onto BBJ. Can they find the kill? Reptire coming through.
Looks like a dead Lucio to me, most likely, right? Oh, the good Gladiators Battalion, and that's big ults used. That's Riptire,
wow.
That's Cocoon as well. This could be a really bad fight for Sidestep Kings, actually.
That I was not expecting to see as the Stormbolt connects into Cattle. Gonna see some pings for everyone rotating down, and this is gonna be everyone fighting over this objective phase. We currently have Kyocha going for the channel. Vesper with that Righteous Hammer with that level 7 is allowing them to move a little bit faster. We also have the Abathur Mule coming down because they can hat the Mule and poke. BBJ is gonna be interrupted by the Stukov. Just gonna try and jump in between both of these altars right now, as that's gonna be Masquerade. Dwarf tossing in. The BFG comes out from Sergeant Hammer. Azuab's on this clone is getting so much damage into Cattle, and they find the kill into the Anubrak. Vesper is gonna look for a Righteous Hammer. Ardent Defender used. They're gonna heal up a little bit from the towers. Nice Righteous Hammer into Kyocha, who loses the mech, but they use their medallion and they back off as Hazuabs loses the clone.
Yeah, Anubrak dead for 20 seconds here. Gotfilth gonna look for a potential stall, and D.Va's actually gonna be able to get it. Vespertine as well. They're looking for some damage here. Masquerade looking to get the cap. Part of me feels like it should be someone else actually capping the objective here for 30k, but in the middle, Sammy gonna be walking over Ultralisk. Actually using the boosters could be in a bit of a scary situation here. If Liebland's able to jump on him, Masquerade on the bot side should be okay, but that's a dead hammer at this point. Dead for 30 seconds. Masquerade is gonna be trapped. The Stukov root as well. Abahat trying to do everything he can, but he's blown up by the Rift Tear. BBJ barely not able to get there in time, and Anubrak is walking back. Cattle, he has the cocoon as well. This could be scary. That Stukov root, and they're able to kill the Muradin. This is going to be a 4v4. Abathur does have clone in about 20 seconds. If 30k is able to stall it out for that, that could be pretty big for them. Hyde is just gonna be able to get the channel. I mean, they don't really have any good stall heroes, right? For the side of Sidestep Kings, you've got a Junkrat, you've got a Stukov, you've got an Anubrak. I mean, all their heroes have good stalls, whereas for 30k, they need to take these fast fights, and that's the only way for them to really win.
During that, though, Abathur was able to get a ton of value, pushing up this top lane, forcing Kyocha to make the rotation. They're going to get about half the fort in top. Now, we were talking about how top lane's not that important and blah, blah, blah. But if your Abathur is split pushing it and does get the fort turned around, that is still something the enemy team needs to deal with. The reason that we were noting it earlier is just basically the factor in which you're spending the time to trade a top fort for a bottom fort. That's really not worth the trade. But either way, this is going to be Sapper Camp grabbed on the left-hand side. Muradin with the Abathur hat looking to step into this, actually just getting a little bit of a speed boost from that. Interrupt going to be coming out from Cattle with that Impale. Stormbolt connecting onto one from Masquerade. A lot of posturing, a lot of poking. Abathur has the clone up and available. They're going to be looking for an engagement here in this bottom lane. And Nubrak is going to find one. That's going to be the medallion used onto Vesper. And they'll back off right now as they find the Wailing Arrow, but there's also a root onto Masquerade. Many of the members of 30k getting low as Sammy's trying to dip, dive, and dodge around, but they get web wrap before they get out with the next cocoon. Do they die here?
Maska jumping in here, and he actually is going to get silenced. Sammy trying to cat out, going to be able to get the E. His team's feeling from him. Maska able to jump out. Hasuabs on the clone is actually going to die. I mean, these team fights are difficult for 30k. As you see, there's just so much damage and really good peel coming out for the side of Sidestep Kings, and they're going to walk over to this bot fort. D.Va's mid. This could potentially be scary. They still have Ardent Defender on the Urel. Stukov shove is going to miss. Ultralisk trying to jump out. Hyde, though, on the Stukov. The Stormbolt barely going to miss. Vesper team is going to be forced to use the Ardent Defender. Is going to be able to get off. No! The Junkrat trap. Gotfilth absolutely smurfing this game with those trap positioning. He's gotten a couple on Lucio, a couple on Urel, and it really is the difference maker. But Abathur in the top right, Hasuabs is going to go for the cap, and he's going to be able to get it. BBJ trying to stall, and he's going to be able to escape. Sammy is going to be running towards top left, but they get the top right cap. Really smart heads up play from Hasuabs.
Denial is massive right there coming out from them. Really, really, really well played. Also to note, for anyone that's wondering why there was no Ardent Defender, it's because of Sticky Wicket from level 7 on that Junkrat. It is a 2-second style, and if you're hit by the steel trap, Masquerade will clear out the web wrap. Abathur going for the channel here. Once again, D.Va in the bottom lane is showing. Junkrat gonna poke. Abathur only having 1,336 health as they find the Sylvanas kill. That's a clone onto the Sylvanas before they went down. So they do have Hasuabs getting that damage, but they do respawn on this left-hand side over here. And it seems like this will be a 1-for-2 trade in favor for the side of Sidestep Kings. But Sidestep Kings will be dealing 10 damage to the 3 damage they are taking from the opposing team.
Yeah, I mean, all they need is 10 more, and it looks like it's only going to be 6 more needed as they are going to be getting the boss here. 30k's only hope, I think, is to get level 20. They need the double hat. They need the double symbiote. But, I mean, this game is looking very difficult for them so far. It definitely feels like they underestimated the power of the hammer. But Kyocha could be a bit in a scary situation here. Cattle, though, rotating in. D.Va going to be falling low. They don't have Sylv, though. They don't have very much damage. They also don't have that good of a clone target. Vesper team trying to kite out, and it looks like 30k is just going to be able to make that full retreat, but they really need to get level 20. They need that level 20 because these team fights are not going well for them, or they need to look for a pick of some kind. Masquerade, Vesper team, rope, linking around.
This is an invade onto the camp. They pop the avatar form. There's going to be a lot of damage onto Vesper, who does get the Ardent Defender off in time. There's going to be Riptire coming out from the Junkrat as well. They don't find anyone with that. Hyde, very low, is going to be able to get a healing push off onto themselves, but they are silenced, and they aren't going to... Oh, they go traded out, so it's going to be Sylvanas for the... Oh my god, this could be Sylvanas for the Stukov as Vesper's so very low. Cattle so very low as well. BBJ trying to find the kill into the Masquerade. Gonna not maybe be able to get the Stormbolt because the Burrow charge out from there. They're underneath their tower. This is gonna be shots onto Masquerade, which reduces the armor. They're gonna throw the Impale, but it doesn't doesn't connect. BBJ finds the kill. Masquerade gets the Dwarf toss away. Vesper's out with the Avenging Wrath, and it's a 2-for-1 in favor for Sidestep Kings, but they want these sappers to go in, and unfortunately, they get them cleared out. Masquerade gets low, but doesn't go down. BFG, not for 32.
No. Wow, 2 heroes
Insanely
dead.
Played from 30K right there.
This is big.
Yeah, that's a big play.
They get a level 20 team fight, and they might be able to get the top right cap. They need to make sure and secure top left, though. Okay, Hasu is going to get it. I mean, they may potentially look for this. I don't know if they actually want to fight this cap. I kind of would have liked to see them just take bottom forts. Like, you just want level 20. Like, it's going to be impossible to take this into a Junkrat Hammer. This feels like a, you know, a bad shot calling play. If you're going to, like, I don't like this. I would like to see them just back off. Oh.
We have Stukov back, Anubarak back in 8, Vesper going for the channel, Micro Missiles will interrupt for now. BBJ will be able to amplify it up and speed right out of there as Hyde gets the channel. So, Sylvanas was trying to clear things out in bottom lane, it won't happen, and they will still take 5 shots of damage, 1 HP to 25, but you and I were saying at the start of this game, it's Towers of Doom. This is still literally anyone's map. And I know that's a big sentence to say. And people are like, Bahamut, really? This is why you're hard stuck in gold 5. I believe that there is always a chance to turn things around. And this is the first time we're seeing 20 to 20 in talent tier fight. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I mean, level 20 really big for the side of 30K. They have Bossa Nova, which means they're gonna have more sound barriers, double hat from Hivemind, rewind, blink on Sylvanas, and the 2-second unstoppable onto the URL. Really big level 20 talent. Spike, Riptire though, as well as rewind, gonna be big. Both teams posturing in the bot lane here. Top fort is gonna fall. Hasu is slowly pressuring that with his locusts, and that'll be nice for them to take. Maska jumping in here. Hyde pushing him back though. You have to be afraid of this Stukov silence. Oh, Urel falling low. Gonna force out the Ardent Defender. Stukov silence as well, but Maska jumping in onto Hyde, using the rewind, wailing arrow, and Stukov is dead. Cocoon is gonna go on to Lucio, but they're gonna be able to get him out. Vesper team, Riptire coming out. Maska needs to be a bit careful here. BBJ, can you save him? The boop, but he is gonna be able to jump out. Ultralist, this looks disastrous for Sidestep Kings. That's 2 dead. How many more are they gonna get? Kyocha gonna get stunned here. Is he gonna be able to get demeched? No, but can they kill him before he can mech back up? Kyocha is gonna die as well. That's 3 heroes dead. Sammy. Okay, it's gonna be okay, but that's 3. What do they get off this? They're gonna get top right fort. What else can they achieve?
They're easily gonna actually get, they're gonna get 10 shots off for here. They're gonna get the fort. They got bottom back. They're gonna go for right side first. Abathur should get left hand side. Clone is up and available if they really want to step in on the side of Sidestep Kings and lose out. But Abathur, fully pushing the top lane with the hat, is gonna be able to, do they have burrow up and available? I didn't check. They do. They can actually literally burrow to the point. No, they're just gonna slither their way onto that one. Yeah, so I was now looking over here. Let's see at the engagement on the mid lane. Abathur holding. Abathur's waiting. Hazu is actually going to hat them up and have them burn through this tower faster, so they get 6 shots instead of the 5, taking them down to 14. And 30K is looking for the barrage. They are looking to have all of the towers fire. But Liam, as you're laughing, is playing way aggressive right now. And Junkrat did go extra so it's 25 seconds per hero hit with the Riptire off of a 75-second cooldown. So if you hit 3 heroes, you get the insta recast, as that's a lot on to this Muradin, but BBJ amping it up, and I think they'll be absolutely fine for now.
Yeah, I mean, but the game is pretty much evened up at this point. I mean, 1 to 14, it's not fully even, but I feel like 30K, now that they've achieved level 20, are pretty happy. Sorry, Baha, I'm sweating bullets right now. My team's at 1 shots, you know what I'm saying? Whew. It's getting intense. They're looking for the invade.
Boss is up. Boss is up. If they literally just rush boss, this is game for Sidestep Kings. But 30K will probably keep. Yeah, they do. You're right. They do it. It's in the bushes. BBJ is actually, they're taking the win condition off the map, and I like this. This is a smart call. They can see the enemy team in bottom lane is dealing with the sapper camp. They can at least count 3 to 4, and they know that the Diva's in mid lane clearing out that. So they have vision of the entire enemy team. This is a smart, safe call for 30K. I really like this. Takes a win condition off the map and pushes them closer to a win condition. I mean, just literally like 4 minutes ago, it was 1 to 25, and we are looking at 1 to 10. This is a close one here. This is a very close one.
My heart, Baja. All right. I mean, it kind of all comes down to this. If 30K loses this fight, they lose the game. If they win this fight in a convincing fashion, they could potentially 6-cap. Level 22 to 21, 21 minutes into the game. The shrine spawns in 8 seconds.
Positioning is going to be here for the side of our red team. They're actually going to get bought back by Vester because they don't want them to be sitting in those bushes. Masquerade going for the channel right now will be interrupted by the Junkrat and the Anubrak. Mule's coming down from the Abathur, and that's going to give them a hat potential. Clone Hazuabs. That's going to be a double Sylvanas here. They're actually going to Haunting Wave in to try and zone them back, maybe even chase them out, but that's going to be Got Filth, who doesn't take the bait, and they burn through the Hazuabs clone, which personally I feel like that's a very long cooldown, and this is I don't know about this right now. Wailing Arrow.
Tammy with the Wailing Arrow is not going to be able to actually connect. Hasselhoff's using an early cone, which I think is good once she's reached level 20 on the Abathur. Basically, they don't have that good of a clone target, right? They don't have a Grey Mane. They don't have like a Zeratul. Using the double hat is going to be better. BBJ falling low. Masquerade jumping in, though. Hyde is going to be able to get the silence, but Avatar has connected. Masquerade is going to get booped into another trap. Sound Barrier coming out, but that's only a 25-second cooldown. Masquerade. BBJ, though. He's going to get hit by another trap from Godfelt and blown up by the BFG. This looks disastrous for 30K. Cocoon coming out. Liam, he's got to walk in here. Ultralisk just chunking everyone down. Sammy looking to do some damage. Force use the Gladiator's Medallion. Sammy, can you turn it around? I don't know if he's going to be able to. Cattle, 3 heroes dead. A disaster for 30K. Up 2 games, and they're actually going to get reverse swept by Sidestep Kings. Fan watching from afar has got to be proud. Baja, what a series. Man, I'm sad.
They're going for the Abathur kill! They delayed the cap so they could get the Abathur kill in bottom lane. That's the full 5 wipe, and that is going to be game number 5 on Towers of Doom to Sidestep Kings. They will take the series in a 3-2 fashion. GG, well played.